Hey, everybody. You miss us? I'm pretty sure you did. It's episode 9 of Wizards and Warriors. I am Hottie Frisco Pinball, my co-host.
Hey, Land, Joe, what's going on?
What up, Joe? So this is going to be a quick turnaround episode because there are a ton of amazing tournaments coming up this summer. This is the big heat, the big burn. We got Pinburg coming up. Sweeper City's going on right now. The Beast right after that, NWPC after that, Papa 22 or 21. I forgot which one it is. 22. All right. 22. And then, UK Open after that. So with this episode, we want to make sure that we go ahead and recap one of the biggest, obviously, tournaments in the world, the IFPA 21, the World Championships. And we have a special guest with us. We kind of hinted at it last episode, and right here, there he is. We have our reigning world champion, and then we'll talk about his performance at IFPA. Mr. Jason Zahler. Jason, thank you so much for joining us. How you doing?
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. We were talking a little bit before hitting record. The trip itself in Austria, getting there and back, you feeling refreshed and ready for Pinburg?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm finally feeling refreshed. It took a while, a lot of jet lag, and but yeah, feeling ready for Pinburg. Very excited. A lot of big tournaments coming up.
Is this the farthest you've traveled for a large tournament, Austria, or have you been anywhere further?
Yeah, I guess you could tie it with Germany because they're like same area, but yeah, Germany, Austria, about the same distance.
Do you get a lot of international travel during the year? I know you've really picked up the competitive streak. Is this year or last year the most you've traveled internationally, or is it sort of kind of consistent 3 to 4 trips every year?
Yeah, I mean, last year I was only in the UK,
Okay.
and then 2 years ago was Germany for IFPA 18, and then this year was Austria. So I'm averaging maybe 1 to 2
Nice.
trips to Europe.
So do you get to do a little vacation while you're out there and see the sights? Does you and your dad get
Oh,
to?
yeah. Oh, it was really nice. I think this was my favorite trip so far in Europe. Yeah, like we were in the heart of Vienna and we got to see a lot of really cool things. Yeah, we sightseed for like the first 3 days we were there.
What was your favorite thing you saw this past trip?
I forget the name of it, but it was this really huge, really cool palace that we visited and we did like a tour through it.
That's super
And
cool.
it was my first palace that I visited. It was nice. Very nice.
Awesome. So, you make sure that passport doesn't expire. You got to get that renewed. I just did mine for the UK Open last year. I was like, oh man, it's been a while since I've done that. So, thank you for joining us. We're going to talk about your awesome performance at IFPA. Before that, we'll just ask you some questions for people that kind of want to know about how you got started in pinball and sort of your career in competitive pinball. I think people like to hear maybe some tips or tricks that you've learned or some advice people have given you. So when did you first start playing pinball? So I've seen a picture on your Facebook profile of you on the Today Show, I believe, a little banner when you were a lot younger. Do you remember the game or location that started it all, or did your family always have a collection?
Yeah, no, we didn't have like a huge collection, but I mean, I started playing when I was like 2.5 years old. First game I ever played was the Addams Family, so that will always be like the most special game in my heart to me.
Nice.
I started off really young, just playing for fun, watching my dad play. And I think the first 3 games we had were Addams Family, Star Trek Next Generation, and Twilight Zone, and then Lord of the Rings at one point. But
Nice.
now our collection, it's grown a lot since. But yeah, those were the first ones for me.
Like, do you have any that you've won still? Like, I know sometimes these competitions you'll win an actual new in box. Do you have any of those? Have you ever won one?
Yeah, so I won 2 last year, and
Nice.
now as of this win 2 weeks ago, I've won 2 this year. So
Heck yeah.
ones I'm actually in my basement right now.
Oh, okay.
But what we have here, the new unboxes that I've won, Foo Pro. We actually just got Metallica Remastered a few days ago, which is really cool. And then Jaws Premium. So we got a few.
Nice. Some good picks.
That's
Yep.
awesome. Jason, was pinball always competitive for you, or would you say you started more kind of casually first, or did you just kind of jump right into competing?
No, so I was always casual for, the earliest years of my life. And then I think it was around when I was 8 years old, I went to my first tournament in Connecticut. it was like a Transformers launch party, and I got like 11th or something. But you know, it was a lot of fun. And then yeah, so that's what the very first event I went to that was registered in the IFPA system, and then I started going to a local league in New Jersey called JPA, run by Coy Morris, the legend Coy Morris, and that's really what got me going. That was like a consistent thing, that I had to show up to once a week, and it was a lot of fun. That was like the beginnings of my competitive scene.
Do you remember anything from that Transformers tournament? I know we saw it at Pinburg last year. Like, do you carry any strategies over from back then?
I barely ever get to see or play Transformers in tournaments nowadays,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it was pretty fun when we
it's
see
kind of
one.
crazy seeing some of the pins that you'll like only see it in tournaments. Like I know we're gonna see Freak Out, which I don't even remember from last year, but
Actually, now that I remember it, I do remember watching Alexander K. He was destroying that Transformers like at the end of qualifying. It was insane. He had like hundreds of mil.
Yeah.
So yeah.
were there any specific players that you looked up to when you were just getting started, other than your dad or maybe somebody you played with?
Yeah, my dad, he got me into the hobby. He got me into the competitive scene and everything. I mean, I've always been watching him, and he's been teaching me since the very beginnings. But as for like the top players, I used to watch like a lot of those older Papa Pinberg videos and those older circuit tournaments out there. Watching Keith, Zach Sharp, Daniele, Yori, and all those the greats of their generation. And I used to study them a lot, like you know, and I learned so many things. Whether it be flipper skills or nudging and different things. Those were like some of the roots of getting that knowledge from the best of the best.
Did they ever personally, in tournaments as you started getting better, give you advice like, "Hey, when you're nudge, this is an example. I'm sure it's a novice level skill, but like when you're nudging, make sure you're pushing up on this pin versus side to side."
Hmm. Well, I guess once in a while I would
Yeah.
get, I would ask some questions. It's very good to ask questions.
Yeah.
They'll, people in the pinball community will definitely answer and give you tips if you ask, of course. So definitely I would do that.
Yeah, I've noticed in this hobby, it's one of the reasons I love it so much is everyone's very open. Tournaments are very competitive, but man, no one's really gatekeeping everything, that they could, and everyone's always trying to help push each other to advance to the next level. Like I've been lucky enough to make a couple decent advances in the playoffs. I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing on this next one. Like, I it's like pat hand. What am I supposed to do on pat hand? So it's great to have that knowledge from everybody, and everyone's so willing to kind of share that wealth of information.
For sure.
Yeah. Jason, you mentioned you're in New Jersey. Did you grow up in like a kind of pinball heavy area, or did you have to kind of like look for places to play?
So like in the 2010s, that was like really when I started playing a lot. There were some more tournaments in New Jersey that were IFPA sanctioned that are playing. There wasn't ever like a New Jersey Open, but there were various small things I would go to. There is like a local Silver Ball arcade because I live like 5 minutes away from Asbury Park. I don't know if either of you heard of it,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's a Silver Ball museum over there that I used to go to a lot, practice and stuff. And of course, the pinball league in Jersey that I would go to. Those are good local places. And also, we had a few games at our house at the time, so it was good for practice.
Nice. What was your first? I know you mentioned your your early tournaments, but your first big one that you kind of maybe did well on, or you kind of surprised yourself. Was it? Maybe I'll ask it this way: when you started playing in tournaments, did you do well right away, or did you kind of take some lumps? I know you finished 11th in your first one, but did you start to see the ups and downs, or how would you feel about your progression early on in tournaments?
Oh yeah, that's the only realistic
Yeah.
way is you have to go through, however long it takes, but it took years for me. Like you have to feel the ups and downs and get knocked out and get, miss a cut line by very little. It has to happen. That's all part of the experience.
Yeah.
And, it took I don't know how many years. It took at least a few years until I won my first tournament. I think it was like maybe like a small local thing in New Jersey, but eventually, once you win the first couple, then you start, getting some confidence, and then you realize, okay, I can actually win some tournaments, and then you start winning more and more, and then eventually you do better at the really big events as well.
I was,
So kind of that's where it took it from.
I was gonna say, once you get that first victory, did it sort of like spark an addiction where you're like, hey, this is my new drug. I can like, really get into this.
It took a few
It
wins
is.
because it was kinda dry back then, but
Mhm.
we really have to start making the final fours. Once you break through and get to the top fours more often,
Yeah.
and then you get in that position, so you're more familiar with it, you're more comfortable. Eventually, you'll start breaking through and winning the tournaments, so that's kind of how at least it was for me.
Nice.
Nice. Are there any particular machines that you feel the most kind of in tune with, or like game specific strategies you develop for them? And parentheses, I put, why is it Avengers Infinity Quest? I feel like that's been one of your
You took the words out of my mouth. I
strongest games.
love Avengers. We have an Avengers premium right here in our basement. Always love seeing that in tournaments. I wish they would, put it in a little more often, but I understand why. If they were to even, butcher it and set it up like crazy difficult, I would still pick it at this point. Like
Yeah.
that's how much I love Avengers. I'm for some reason very comfortable on that game, but I don't know. I'm pretty good on like flowy games. Bally Williams era, I feel comfortable. I'm pretty comfortable at this point with like all eras, which you kind of have to be, especially if you want to win like IFPA worlds, because you do the old mid new eras. But I try to make sure to get comfortable on all different types of games. I think that's really important.
How did you discover like I'm thinking of your AIQ battle with Escher and ZMAC at Pinburg last year. Like how did you discover, because when I have AIQ as well, it's just waiting for a new CPU board. But like the strategy to go reality, and then I forgot what the second was, time, or is it time? And then you go to soul, and then you come back and you lose reality to so that you can play it again after you've done your battle Thanos, the first mini wizard mode after Soul Gem. How do you figure that out? Is that you talking with other players, or playing at home, or talking about with your dad, or just figuring it out?
I didn't learn that on my own.
Yeah,
I'll just admit it. I must have watched Esther or ZMAC do it like at maybe Pinball Expo on stream or something, and I'm
gotcha.
like, huh, I'll note that for some time. And then I actually got some use out of it there, which was nice.
Nice. Do you have you figured out any strategies like on your own that you're, I don't want to say proud of, but you're kind of like, hey, this actually works, especially with ones you own. I know it's eventually everybody's going to figure out what the meta is, but is there something you figured out on a pin that you've played? You're like, yeah, this is my strat, or this is something I figured out.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you get enough play on any game, you'll probably find something that you
Yeah,
can consistently do over and over. That's safe. That's worth the reward.
nice,
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah. Let's see. What else we have? What's your approach when you're down going into like a ball three situation? Do you change your strategy, or do you kind of stay the course? And I also put a note here: the Epstein Cup final on ACDC kind of comes to mind.
I mean, it's really just situational. Like you have to just see what you're given, like how close you are to multi-ball. I mean, I kind of just played it the way I normally would, I guess, if it was any ball one, two, or three. But I ended up choosing to go like as one of the last players because I really wanted to play a multi-ball because I'm pretty comfortable with multi-ball, especially on that game. So I was watching what was going on, and I saw like going into ball four. You know, you know how it's like player one, two, three, four. So player one, it was either going to be me or Greg Kennedy that I sent to go on that player, but that one was further from multi-ball. So I'm like, Greg, if you want to do that, I kind of want to get into a multi-ball on the last player and maybe get something going. So that was really the decision that I went with that time. But it
Oh,
was really cool. I think that was like one of the most fun formats, like even more fun than last year, because you know even when I was in multi-ball, like I cradle up and stuff, and then I looked behind me asking them for advice and stuff. It's so cool, like because it's such an interact. It's the only time you can interact with people when you're playing in a
yeah.
tournament. So it would be nice if we could do that more often, maybe like a split flipper thing or something. I
Yeah.
think it was really fun.
You know what it could be like? It could be like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and you hit the phone a friend, and they can come and give you a little strategy.
For sure.
Oh man. So what is the best piece of advice you've ever received about competitive pinball?
I'll tell you one thing that I've really improved upon from when I was younger is your mental game. I think that's one of the most important things in pinball. Obviously, it's like a physical sport as well, but the mental, that's really what it's about. Like you could be playing decent, but like if you get rattled so easily by something ridiculous happening, because that's inevitable with pinball, you're gonna get screwed sometimes.
Yeah.
If you let that get to you, you're gonna drag that into your future games, and that's going to mess you up a lot. And that's what used to happen to me a lot when I was younger. And my dad, he's kind of like my coach as well in a way when I'm playing, but he helped me a lot, and I've really improved on that since.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, the mental is it's such a bigger part than I think people give credit for because, everyone can get unlucky. You can get a sling drain pretty quickly. You're always gonna everyone's gonna get a house ball, but man, how you bounce back from that. I think Escher's dad, Adam, told me once, he's like, big deal. You lost the ball. You still got two other ones to go, or one other one to go ahead and make something happen, because you can make a lot happen in one ball. And that mental, I think I'm learning a lot talking to others like yourselves. It's such a big part of figuring out how to just clear that obstacle and make sure you rinse it from your brain and just attack the next ball.
Exactly, yeah. You gotta totally reset yourself,
Yeah,
like, no matter what happens.
it's hard. It's not easy for sure. I know a lot of us put pressure on ourselves. We think, we practice, we want to do good, and go from there.
Yeah. But you really just have to realize, like, you are almost guaranteed to do worse if you bring that into the next ball or whatnot,
Yeah.
it's happened so many times to me, like, you just gotta reset, forget about it, like, pretend nothing happened, just r remember what your plan is and go right back into it.
Yep.
That's something I feel like I've noticed in watching, you play at these bigger tournaments and, seeing these Final Four, top two, depending if it's a head to head. You can even see it on like I think the stream footage that we're about to watch. Like you almost have like a corner guy that you can go to, like whether it be your dad or like one of your friends that's like kind of off camera. You're just consulting with constantly on like, hey, like what's the next move? When you're not on the ball, and then when you step up, obviously you just have to execute. So that's something that's really been fun to kind of observe as a you know audience.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of help if you have, like, one or a few people that you can, like, talk with, get advice from, even not just, pinball specific advice, but even maybe just for the mental help, definitely is a good idea.
Yeah. So Jason, did you do anything different to prepare for this year's Worlds compared to other events or even last year's Worlds event?
Not really. I mean, I have been playing just like whenever I feel like it for fun, like in my basement. We have like a lot. I think we have maybe a little over 25 games in down here now. We got it all set up during the pandemic lockdown. So like we finished our basement. We have a lot of games down here. So
That's awesome.
yeah, just practicing, different arrows and stuff. We did just get a Grand Prix, our only EM down here. We got that a couple months ago, which is fun. So, I mean, I really just like practicing. There isn't really anything specific I do beforehand. Maybe like in the past, I practiced even more. Sometimes actually my dad and I will just do like for fun competitions against each other, like doing the format of the tournament that we're gonna play in. And sometimes we'll even put some money on it. So
There
I
you
think that's
go.
yeah, I think that's pretty fun.
You got to hustle the old man.
Like
That's
what we
awesome.
would do, we would do like a Pin Masters format and have like 9
Ooh,
holes, and then it's a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you
Grand
do
Prix.
anything to?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you do anything to harden your games at home, or do you like change out the rubbers to like the kind of Sizo haps that you see often, or like take it widen the outlanes and stuff?
Yeah, outlanes they're not, they're pretty wide. I kind of just also want to get some enjoyment out of the games at home, but don't make them super easy, obviously, because you don't want to prepare yourself like that for a super difficult setup in a tournament. But yeah, we keep our rubbers on, like it's pretty fair, I would say. But some of our games are a little bit on the tough side.
No yeg pin setup like lightning precision flippers and
No 2x4 plank of wood on the back legs with the lightning precision flippers, as you said. Those are insane.
yeah, that was an
I
experience.
like flashbacks of that Iron Man game on stage like 2 years ago. That was some scary setups. But it really makes you good if you like, that's why Derek Thompson, he's been so good lately. He's been winning huge classics events is
Yeah.
because he keeps playing, like that's all he ever plays on locally. And then he goes to these tournaments, it's like, well, that's nothing. Like, what is this? The ball is moving so slowly.
Yeah, he was
So it's
running
a really smart way of practicing for sure.
he was running this past yeg pin and with the hybrid classics and he still won it. It was absolutely insane
Mhm.
because he couldn't do main because he was TDing and running everything. I was like, and he still put enough entries together to make the playoffs and then eventually win it all. I was gonna say Grand Prix is a great addition. That's probably one of my favorite spinners of all EMs.
Mhm.
It's just so satisfying. And if you can dial it in and know where it is on the flipper every time, man, you guys picked a good one. That's probably top 3 spinners for me of all time.
Yeah, I definitely agree with
Yeah.
that.
How do you so coming down from these world finals, how do you manage pressure? Do you have like a mental routine or mantra you stick to? I know people are going to say, "Hey, why is he taking this time to get to the ball or to come, play his ball?" But I think in worlds, I think the fact that you're at that stage, you kind of should be giving the competitors as much time as they need, obviously, until it's egregious where it's like half an hour. But is there something you're doing in between balls that you sort of are doing to yourself mentally, or maybe you're just talking with your fellow competitors about what strategy you need to go? I saw you talking with Garrett a lot. He's our Texas State champ. He's an amazing player and he's a great guy too. I love playing with him locally. So I was hoping him and Jack were kind of teaching you about. I forgot what. We'll get to it on the footage, but they were talking to you about one of the pins. I think it was Jackpot actually.
Yeah, Jackpot. They were giving me some advice. Yeah, no, the Shahans are great guys. I love them.
Mhm.
But as for like pressure and like preparing, yeah, like I feel like it's mainly just the IFPA tournament that I take like extra long to get to the game. But it's such an intense format and it's
Yeah,
such a grind and the fatigue, like, you could really start kicking in later in the day. But
yeah,
I really try to pace myself because I'm really motivated to win that championship specifically.
of course.
Sometimes, honestly, it's just because I'm in the bathroom or something. But um, yeah, I try to be patient and pace myself a lot when I'm playing. And sometimes the other thing is because the tilt bobs, they don't have the earplugs. Like you really gotta wait. So sometimes that's the other reason.
So
But
explain that for people that are new to pinball. What do the earplugs do?
so basically, I don't know exactly, but
Oh
it
yeah,
kind of like it makes it tougher for the dangers to like the momentum to keep going, and it has something to do with
okay,
the tilt bob specifically. But
gotcha. Yeah,
basically, with earplug, like it takes way less time for the tilt bob to reset and
okay,
stop swinging, and without it, it could be swinging for minutes.
yeah. Yeah.
So
I sort of make it kind of the time you're taking to gather yourself and figure out what's going on, to like when ZMAC paces. I'm like, oh man, like when we were at Yegpin and they had the track above, I'm like, ZMAC would get a ton of laps in if he could up there
yeah,
on
I've
the
heard that.
yeah, the concourse. So that's good. That's good to hear.
It's funny in Pinburg finals last year. I think both of us. I was actually pacing like while he was pacing. I don't know why. I guess I just felt like doing it that time, but
Do you have an Apple Watch? You need to count your steps.
maybe I should. That'd be interesting. Like when I'm at one of these big tournaments.
You
But
can
actually, I don't have an Apple Watch, not yet.
do a competition with ZMAC. Who can pace more steps?
Oh, he's gonna destroy me. Like not even close. Yeah, I'll give him that competition any day.
Jason, you mentioned, you credit your dad as a big mentor and part of, the reason why you've come to like the game so much and learning about, pinball strategy. Would you say that anyone else? I know you mentioned a few names earlier too, but would you model or did you model your game after anyone specifically, or even if it comes to like certain skills or? things you use when you play?
It's really just a combination of a lot of different play styles and a lot of the top players that I used to watch. Like, just if I really like something that I saw, I know, for example, Daniele, I think he used to do a lot of ski passing back in the day. So I might have gotten some of that from him. Watching Keith play, he knows like everything pretty much. So you'll always learn something watching Keith. Like, in the Pinburg finals, when, the first time I saw it happen on Harlem, when he held up like the upper left flipper and the ball just drifted slowly down to the lower flipper, right? Things like that. It's hard to like learn that on your own. Like, some things you kind of just need to watch to learn about. But yeah, no, just I've learned so many things from watching like those older videos. It's really, really great thing.
Yeah,
Even nowadays, like, there's so much content, like every tournament with all these top kids, and the competition's getting crazy good. I'm still like, the learning never ends. I'm still learning new things while I'm playing right now. Like for example, like the kids like Arvid, Viggo, like they just tap pass like it's nothing,
yeah,
on Indy 500.
yeah.
It's new,
I
but
noted that in the footage. Vigo's like doing rolling tap passes on Indy. I was like, what is going on? That's not a tap
in
pass.
single ball play also. It's like, damn, these guys are fearless.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
right.
yeah, it's like that takes some cojones. I was like, dude, what just happened there?
It's effective. It's not like it's just for show. Like, it's actually
Yeah.
like it's improving their game. It's like things like that. If I could perfect some of those things, it's a really good thing to do.
I got to get an Indy in the collection now. um,
Well, I would definitely have one if we had a lot more room. But yeah,
yeah.
it's a great thing.
I was thinking about what you said about learning like some of the skills that you see for the first time. I remember Travis Murray showed me stage scissor flipping on Alien Poker when the little thing. I was like, "What is that? Where did that come from?" Like, there's always a new trick to learn. What advice would you give to players trying to break into top level competition now? Is there something you would initially tell them? You already mentioned get over having a bad ball. Is there anything else?
Yeah, of course. Like I mentioned before, the mental game is huge. Um, I really just think like, just it's all about repetition, and if you just keep playing, it doesn't even really matter what game you play. But of course you want to play like all different eras, but um just keep playing and keep playing. Just I told like have a high volume of play, and practice all these different things, like, when you're playing for fun and stuff, mess around and try different things. Maybe try shooting the same shot over and over, you know because that'll eventually build the muscle memory, and that's really what's gonna get you to that next level, I think. That's you could do that for learning flipper skills, accuracy, and nudging even. Those are like the big ones. Just practice, and because you have nothing to lose when you're playing for fun. But and then the other thing, if it's your goal to get high in the ranks, you gotta just it's all about the experience factor. You gotta just keep playing and getting into these, higher pressure situations the more you go on, and you'll eventually get more comfortable with it. And then once you start winning bigger things, you know, that's really what'll get you going.
Yeah, there's nothing like being in the moment because it's so much different than playing at home. You could play Godzilla at your house 100 times, but then when you're at District 82 and you short plunge and you're expecting it to bounce off the right plastic to go to left flipper, but then it just goes to the right out lane. It's like, all right, well, I guess I guess I got to figure that out next.
Yeah, I would definitely say try not to practice on like super tough setups,
Yeah,
because it's going to be hard to do what you want. And just for the sake of learning,
yeah.
definitely try to play like normal setups, and just mess around, honestly. Like, just practice. If you think, am I able to do this, make this certain shot from this angle or something like that? And then, oh, you can. So then you could, learn things that way. That's kind of what I do sometimes.
That's really good advice because you're going to if you set it and I think there's a lot of people that say, "Well, I want to set it up difficult so I know how it plays or it's going to be similar." But at the same time, if you don't advance far enough and learn where the modes are further down the line, then you're kind of going to be stuck like, "Oh, well, do I have to just shoot the blinky lights?" And that's not always the move. It's knowing, "Hey, if I hit this next, while cradled up, I have a chance to double it here." And I think that's really, really good advice and something I don't think people think about a lot because you can make it difficult at home, but you also have to see the game to know what's the next move.
Yeah, I think for the sake of like just learning the basics and repeating something over and over until you build the muscle memory, play on pretty normal setups. But if you want to like improve your reflexes and stuff and like reaction time eventually, then yeah, definitely I would recommend playing on harder setups to prep you for like some of these bigger tournaments.
In addition to that, I feel like after attending some of these, major tournaments lately in the last couple of years, something I've noticed is like you're just on your feet for so long during the day that you got to build up that endurance.
Mhm.
Do you think you like do you do anything kind of active? Like do you like work out and stuff to kind of like build up that endurance? I know you. I noticed that you are you on like a bowling club with your school? Is that just kind of like
Yeah,
a
I
side
actually
activity?
did. Like in my junior year last year, that was the first year I started going to bowling. That was just
Nice.
for fun. I don't plan on like doing competitive bowling. I don't
What?
know, maybe who knows, right? But it's a fun thing because it's kind of similar with pinball. The concept of like once you find the perfect like hook, the perfect angle, and you just keep repeating it. It's all about consistency, and then that's how you get good at it. It's kind of similar with pinball in that way. Probably why I like it.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Jason, what's the most underrated skill in competitive pinball right now?
Underrated skill. Maybe tap passing on, like, the newer games, I don't know. That's definitely like, no one's really doing that. I mean, I'm not really doing that, like, because it's scary sometimes, and sometimes the flippers feel weird, and it's, like, harder to do it on some games, but, um, underrated skill. I don't know, actually. That's a good question.
If you don't
Can
have
you
an
guys
answer,
think of
that's okay.
Can you guys think of any?
uh Honestly, I think I feel like loop passing. People don't do a lot of loop passing.
That's true, that's true.
And I
Actually
you forget about
yeah,
it.
yeah, go on. Yeah, yeah. I actually was doing some loop passing on Venom, which we're gonna get to, in the IFPA Worlds this year. It is very fun. Once I'm in the zone and I can start loop passing, it's a really useful technique to do, like
And
on Attack from Mars in certain games, which have good geometry for doing it.
yeah, Venom especially, and now we're gonna see it at Pinburg. It was just announced in one of the banks, and it's the pros, so there's less stop and go, less mechs there. What excites
Mhm.
you when you see a tournament announcement, like specific games, format, location? Is there anything you're like, yes, this is other than the potential for whoppers and big money? Let's get the obvious out of the way. But
Definitely those two. Yeah. Um, I would say the games is my main thing. The format is less important because it always just roots down to like if you win, it's not really gonna make much of a difference.
yeah,
I mean, there are some small nuances, like if you're playing in four-player groups, there's longer wait time between you playing as opposed to head to head. And then, of course, Pin Masters is like its own unique thing, which I really like the Pin Masters format. I wish it happened. It's one of the toughest, but it's very rewarding. I wish it was more often, but yeah, I mean, I don't mind the formats most of the time. I really just wait to see what the game list is, and then, of course, when I'm there, how the setups are, if they're not hopefully, they're not too ridiculously brutal, but
yeah.
yeah.
Do you have a preference for like match play versus card or best game?
Match play, I mean, card is obviously that's the tough one because that gets, in a really high pressure situation, but I do like card because it's more challenging. I don't really have a problem with any formats. I mean, I can't really think of any right now, but I really like head to head. I think that's a lot of
Mm,
fun because it can get really intense and you get to specifically play one player that could be, really good. So I think that's cool in its own way.
for sure. Well, Jason, you've reached the pinnacle of ranked pinball greatness. You're the number one overall pro in rank and rating. You're North American champion, two-time IFPA world champion. 2024 world's greatest pinball player. By all accounts, first ballot Hall of Famer. Where do you go from here?
I guess I just gotta repeat some stuff. Like we have Pinburg next week. I'm gonna try to repeat that for the first time. We'll see how it goes, but Pinburg is a lot of fun. Um, yeah, but of course, I'm gonna try to get, the the world's greatest trophy for 2025. You know, Escher is still up there. ZMAC he's trying to get up there, but it'll be a fun race for sure. I guess more majors is my main motivation right now. Yeah, because it's always so satisfying when you win a major.
Yeah, you can always have one checked off on your list. I know they were talking in the commentary about great players that have never won a major, and it's almost like golf players that have never won a major there, NBA players that have never won a title. They're always going to have that sticking point. So when you knock one, now you get one, you're like, okay, that one's off off my back. Now I can focus on start collecting them like the Infinity Stones, like Thanos. So good job, good job on doing all that. Thank you for answering our questions. Now we're going to get into the fun stuff. We're going to review all the footage of this year's IFPAs in Austria. It was a first to four sudden death best of three tiebreaker at 3-3. That will come into play. So let me just go over here and then start showing off the footage. So did you guys go in order of picking games? Where it was like Viggo's pick? Did Viggo pick Pharaoh and then you picked Firepower and then so forth?
Yeah, so we each picked because we each pick an old, mid, and new.
Okay.
But I think because Viggo was higher seed, he got to choose if he started on his or my game. So he chose his game first. You can choose any era in whatever order you want. So he just chose Pharaoh, I think.
Okay, and so there were times where you selected to go first or instead of switching off. Was there any strategy in that, or just sometimes you want to go first and because it's head to head, so it's not as long of a wait between balls?
I forget actually if I chose first, but I think the person that chooses their game, I think the other person gets to choose order. And
Okay.
I might be wrong. I forget, but I think he would have chose second every time. Actually, no, I think I did choose to go first on Indy 500. Now that I think of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's in our notes. I have you going first.
Yeah, I think that was because I learned the hard way the round before with Arvid, where he got like over a bill and the right flipper was like weak. I couldn't make the left ramp well.
Oh no!
So I'm like, let me try to burn it out for Viggo this time if I can, but it didn't end up working out as planned. He ended up beating me on that, but yeah.
So the first game you're going up against Viggo in the Worlds, Viggo Logren, and obviously another great player. First game is Pharaoh. What can you tell our esteemed viewers? And before we get to that, I want to make sure everybody, please, if you are listening to this, there is a video format. It's available on Spotify and YouTube. You can go to youtube.com/Frisco Pinball or check out Wizards and Warriors on Spotify. There is video footage. It's easier to follow along if you're watching this, so please go check that out. So Pharaoh, what is your strategy? What do you know about Pharaoh? I was looking up kind of hints and tips, and there's not I'm not saying there's not a lot, but it was a very tough go for both of you on this one, it felt like.
I mean, all I really know to do is just like bash away at the lit targets, the drop targets at the top.
Okay.
And I think once you get enough of them, I don't know the exact rules. I just know eventually it'll light your lights on the top and bottom of the playfield. And then you get either one, you're in a 2-ball multi-ball. And I think then it's 2x playfield, and then you just want to get ball up top and hit targets all day, from what I know.
Yeah, so we're watching the sort of, this is the practice footage. So I remember looking at this, and I feel like I played this once, and I know Eric was talking about how you could backhand that left loop to get up to the upper playfield. Did you try that?
And I think I did.
Okay.
I think you could do it most of the time, but if you miss, it might just brick like down the middle or something. It might have happened to me, but
yeah. So ball one, we're still watching your practice a little here. I'll bring the footage up a little. So Viggo's about to go. He does go. He ends up getting he plunged to the lower playfield, and I think he tries to let me see. He's looking here. Yeah. So I think he tries to backhand the forehand, the left orbit from the right. So to get to the upper playfield, and he tried the move. I think a lot of people want to learn how to shimmy. So it's going to bounce here, and then he hits it, and then he was trying to shimmy it right there.
That's the first time I'm watching it, actually.
Yeah. So
he could have had that, man.
Yeah,
he usually does that. Him and Arvid.
So how do you perform the shimmy? Are you moving it like, are your palms on the each side and you're like frantically moving it back and forth, or how would you do it?
I've actually been practicing that lately because we have Grand Prix and it's hard to do, but because there's the gap like on the in lane out lane like divider metal rail,
Hmm.
if it goes in like either out lane, you can maybe try to shimmy it backwards through it,
I've
but
seen it.
usually it tilts. But I have gotten it a handful of times. I've been practicing like how I want to do that on each side. But yeah, you really just you kind of have to like move your body like all the way to the opposite side, and then you just have to shake it, keep shimmying it, and not too much to tilt, but just get that side to side motion, and then hope that it eventually pops back into play.
Nice. So yeah, so he doesn't have a very good ball. He's at 17,000. So you're about to step up. And let's get to you here. Yeah, right here. So you're playing, you're at 21. And I think the ball, so yeah, you got a few shots up top, but it was hard to get control down low. And so you're waiting for the ball to release here. Or excuse me, you had the plunge, and then or excuse that, I'm sorry, you didn't have 21. That was player 2. So this is you get your shots up here, you hit it into that like half candy cane on the right. And I think that just gives you points. That's your lock shot though, right? When the
Yeah.
okay. Because then the other lock is on that right loop down below. So, and then you get a sling drain. So you both have very uneventful ball ones. I mean, that's these old machines. You're not going to get a lot of time most of the time, and you're always going to have a ball that goes quick. Remember anything about ball one? I'm not going to press it because we've got a lot of games to get through. So, did you?
Yeah, I just know that when the locks are lit, it'll be solid green, I think, and when the green is blinking, I think that's like a hurry up or something, which can light sometimes.
Yeah, that's what Eric was talking about in the commentary, because the top right one was blinking, and I think everybody thought it was a lock, but it was a hurry up value. And I don't think Viggo, I think either you or Viggo had it and you weren't shooting it, but for good reason. So Viggo, ball 2, he gets better control up top, picks off some drops, lights the green light up top, and you see Eric circling some of the notes up there. Eric Stone on commentary, great player and a former IFPA champion. His upper playfield lock was still lit. He did hit the upper left candy cane at one point. So see it, the green is blinking there, and he got about 30,000, I think, for his value. He did and he started the 2-ball multi-ball. So I'm gonna bring the footage up a little right here. So
that on this game, the upper playfield normally has regular size flippers, right? Did they changed it to mini flippers?
Oh, does it? I'm not sure. I mean, the only other
Or they-
experience I've had with Pharaoh was at D82. I think it was. I forget actually. I feel like it was small flippers though.
yeah,
I
I
could be
remember
wrong.
playing it there too. That's the only other place I've played Pharaoh, and that was at District 82. And so Viggo, he tried to post transfer. He did post transfer to a ski pass, so he kind of like brought the ball up, ski passed it over, and tried to backhand the left loop to get back to that upper play field, but he missed the shot and then went to the right out lane, or left out lane. But he did have a good ball. He was at 205,000. So we're gonna go to 1225 because you step up and you're about to have a really good skill move right here. I'm going to put the volume on. So it's going to come down here.
Moves, and I don't need to tell
Boom.
you this.
Nice little catch right there.
So to go from west to east,
I kind of want to ask you, I mean, I feel like that's a skill everybody learns eventually, but did you start practicing those drop catches, or is that just something through experience that, maybe your dad taught you or you learn it on every pin? How are you knowing when it's coming down the ramp that you're going to be able to drop catch it?
It has to be like the right angle. I think
Okay.
if it's coming straight down, so if it's like on the right side of the playfield and it's coming down to the right flipper, that would be. I mean, you can do like a quick drop catch, but that's more advanced. That's like more of a live catch situation. If
Gotcha.
it's coming down from the same side as the flipper, but when it's coming like from the right in this example and it's angling to the left flipper, that's like the good perfect drop catch angle to do it from most of the time.
Yeah, I'm replaying a few times so people can see it's coming down that right ramp and then boom, beautiful catch right there. So, yeah, so you're playing here. You're good. You got your light. You end up lighting your lock for, I think either both. You had it. I think the lock. I don't think it matters which one you can. I think it's kind of like there's another pin I'm trying to think of where Uh, people, I don't. It's not. Is it Grand Lizard? Maybe there's one where there's a lock like up top and on the bottom, but you can hit either of them. So you're already at 184,000 here, and you're trying that backhand. That backhand easy? Because Eric said he was picking it off like in the early qualifying rounds, pretty, and with a pretty simple flick.
Yeah, it's very tight shot though, and I don't think it had like the fat rubbers around it, making it even smaller. But you have to be very precise with it anyways. And if you missed it, you were gonna brick the post, and that could really get you into trouble, which I did a couple times.
Yeah, so there you were,
right
you were going for the forehand, and I think Eric was yelling at everybody, "Stop forehanding the shot!" But it reminds me of I think it's Grand Lizard, where it's like it can be a tight shot, or people put the fat rubber. So there was a fat rubber on that.
Yeah, it was fat enough for me to miss it a lot. I've seen it with fat rubbers. It's like almost impossible. Like some copies, you don't even attempt going for that left shot. And sometimes you just want to get ball up top, either middle ramp or right ramp if the lower left flipper is strong enough.
Well, the good news is you two were pretty close after the first two balls. You had 217,000. Viggo had 205 through two balls. First game, is there anything that you're thinking about going into ball 3? Just stay the course.
No, I was. Oh, he actually did a similar nice drop I did there, but
Yep.
going into ball 3, I guess just the normal plan as usual. Just get as many lit upper drops as I can, and then get into multi-ball and just stay alive as long as possible. I was just keeping going at that plan.
Yeah, he had. I put in the notes. He had this really nice drop catch too. I was like, man, if this is how it's starting, this is going to be a great finals. So he's picking off some shots. He's got, here it is, come boom right there. That is really good. Good angle to do the drop catch on. So, but he gets the he's looking at it, and he's got
And that
his
was the other thing, was that they disabled the Magna saves on each in lane. And that made it very difficult. There was a note on the game, and I'm like, crap. Well, as
But-
if this game wasn't hard enough already.
but this
But
also had
I did
a
look up.
go ahead.
I was gonna say I did look up the game, so it does normally have a regular size flipper on the upper left, but the upper right flipper is always apparently small. So
Oh.
they just changed the one flipper on the left side.
Yeah.
Make it harder than it is. I was gonna say it reminds me of Barracuda because you can have that safe ball strategy when you lock it, and then if your other ball drains, the locked one will come back down, and that's what Viggo had on, or you had on your ball too. So Viggo ends with 347,000. We are into your ball 3, and unfortunately, we'll see right here. This was not a good ball 3, but this is the ball that a lot of us expect kind of always to happen once every game. So here is your plunge, and then here is your power drain right there. Unfortunately,
Yeah, I didn't even like blink. I was just like, next game,
Yeah.
move on, right?
and
That's
then
like the scenario where you have to have a good mental game and just reset.
exactly.
Because that, if you let that get to you, that's really going to cause problems later.
Yeah, I was gonna.
There's nothing I could do there, so I knew it wasn't me that time. Sometimes there really just isn't much you can do, like that case. So try not to let it get to you too much.
Yeah, those are tough because you're seeing the ball moving around. You're like, okay, it's going to come down the center and it may feed the left flipper like it normally does, but it was coming so fast and it just angled right to the center. You're just like, all right, well, on to the next one. Luckily, that's only game 1. So game 1 is Pharaoh. Your pick was next, right? Firepower.
Yep.
All right, and what can you tell us about Firepower? This one's there's a strategy here that me and Joe learned about Shatzing. Feel free to go ahead and explain it.
I actually learned it. That was the first time I ever thought of doing that this weekend. Actually, it was Eric Stone who was commentating that taught me about it, because he tried doing it in qualifying and it worked. But the way he was doing it, he was just shatzing the unlit in lanes. And then I looked, like when I was playing, I think it might have been like one time in qualifying, or maybe the first round in I think it was the first round in finals against Zach Sharp. I looked at the in lanes and I said, oh, so when they're lit, they're 3,000 in lane as opposed to 1,000. So how do I light them? I figured out how to light them. You have to complete the right bank of blue drop or stand up targets. and then it's lit for the rest of the ball. And then I ended up doing that. And the nice thing was, if you got like 1 or 2 of the blue targets, it carried over to the next ball as long as you don't tilt. So that was what I was going for. Just light the in lanes. If I even get a chance on one ball to do it, like if I light the, probably be enough. And that's what I went with.
Yeah, and then
it's really good because I feel like sometimes it awards like more points than it should.
It did.
Something.
No, it did. So if you'll watch the footage, every time you go up it, it gives you the 3,000. Let's say it's lit. But when you came down, it would sometimes give 6 to 9. So you were picking up 9 to 15,000 versus the 6 that you would normally get. And it was doing it for both of you. So, and it was on the right side. So you would get on the right side. You would watch the score and it'd be like, okay, well, here comes the 3. But then it'd come down and be like, wait a minute, I just got an extra 6 to 9,000. So it was pretty awesome. So the normal way to play is what? Going for the stand-ups in the middle and then trying to get multi-ball?
Yeah, I mean, if it's like a unshatsable or if it's like dangerous, if it goes around, up and around when you shats, then the normal strat would just be hit the targets in the middle and then grind spinner a lot, and then you could get your multi-ball going eventually. And don't tilt because that resets your progress. So it is a really fun game though, in general. No matter what you play it. Whatever way you play it, it's fun.
Yeah, and Eric was like, I'm going for the unlit lanes, but you had some, so your ball one is right here and we're watching it. So you had, and he was nervous because of those, that sort of drain on the right out lane where it could hit one of the stand-ups on the right, bounce to the right plastic near the in lane, and then sort of go out and bounce around. But it was great because you had some rebounds where it would like hit the slings and then it would just go from right to left sling and then hit the stand-ups up there. And Eric's circling it now. And so obviously, excuse me, your ball one wasn't as ideal as possible. You had 10,000, but we're going to see Viggo step up here in a second right here. And we'll watch his ball one. We're not going to watch all the footage of these balls because it does take some time because both of you get in a really good groove. Is there a spot on the flipper you were aiming for when you were shatzing, like middle or because Eric was talking about in commentary how he was aiming at like, I think the upper part of the flipper versus normally, or the middle part where you would aim for the bottom tip of the opposite flipper.
Yeah, I mean, I've shot so many times, whether it be this or Pulp Fiction or something, but it's like you have to wait until it gets towards the edge of the flipper or else it won't be a clean enough shot.
Yeah.
But it's really just based on feel, like more so intuition. I'm not really like thinking or like measuring every time my shots or something, but yeah, once you do it enough times, it's muscle memory at that point.
Nice. Yeah. So Viggo ends up tilting, which is something that we're going to have to talk about coming on up on one of his balls. But here we are. You have been, you've entered into your ball 2, and now we are watching the shots begin. So you got your 3 stand-ups. What's crazy is your bonus maxes out so fast when you do this shots. It was like 2 or 3 in lane up and downs, and your bonus was already at 29,000. So talk about what you're feeling here to the viewers.
I'm feeling great here. As long as the shots didn't do that or try to leave, but it was really reliable on that right side. Even on the left it wasn't too bad sometimes, but once I got this going, got into a flow, I felt great.
Were you bumping the machine at all? Viggo did a small bump and it tilted. Were you just letting it bounce normally or doing the micro flip off the right flipper to get it to the left?
So I knew, like, since the first round of finals I played this in, that tilt was insanely tight. And especially after I saw what happened to Viggo, I knew I'm not touching this game. I mean, this was before it happened, but I knew to be very careful with it. That was one of the tightest tilts of that tournament.
Yeah, and what was crazy is if you were too good at shatzing, it was kind of a negative here because if you hit such a clean shats like we just saw there, the ball would go up all the way versus rattling around to the switch and then losing its momentum and coming back. Joe, did you know the strategy beforehand? Because I did it.
No, I really didn't until I watched this. I was like, huh, I didn't realize this was like a Shats all day kind of game. But yeah, I mean, the last time I played this was like I think it was at Indisc and at the classics, target match play, and we were all kind of trying to figure out if people would just kind of rip the spinner when it's lit. You can light the spinner by hitting the stand up targets in the middle of the play field. Um, Jason, do you if you are playing it kind of that way, are you team forehand the stand-ups or backhand? Because I know that's been kind of a topic of discussion
I
recently.
guess like just whatever the situation, like if I'm on the left flipper and I need the right, like one or two more right targets, I'll probably just go for it anyway. But probably is like I would think it's safer from a backhand. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I kind of just go with the flow.
Cool.
Yeah, this was so Vigo's up on his ball too, and I am going to show this footage because it's kind of crazy what happens. I actually forgot to timestamp it, but I called this the Shots Bonanza. He's already at 134. I'm gonna go a little here, and yeah, we're gonna go right here, and I think it'll come up. So it starts hitting the slings, and then boom, that was that
Yeah,
was
I was right behind him, I think, and I saw that. It was
yeah,
so ridiculous.
like
Someone mentioned was his leg on the machine? Like, did anyone see like the move
I
that he
have
actually
no
made?
idea. No
Okay.
clue. I
because
don't
it
know if anyone else was watching from behind him.
because it literally goes left sling, left sling, and then it like maybe does it one more time, but it hits the top right stand up on the left bank, and then it comes down and it like hits the target bank on the right, and then it just tilts, and you're like, what just happened? So I you feel bad for it's that Carl D'Angelo email that's pinball, but it's just crazy that here it is, it boom boom, yeah, there it is. It's just wild.
I don't know. It's even crazier watching it a second and third time.
Right.
It was like the craziest occurrence, that final.
What was going on after that? I know Becker came out to check it, right? Or on ball
Yeah,
three.
he opened the game and saw the tilt. It was moving a little bit, but it was just a play on scenario.
Yeah. You don't change your strategy then, right? It's just do what you were doing and hope it doesn't sling tilt.
Yeah, be extra careful. Like I think I just told myself, all right, I'm not even doing slight nudges anymore after what just happened. Like you can't mess around if you see that happen.
Exactly. So you were at 184,000. Vigo was at 167. He had his 29 in bonus kind of go away there. So it's ball three. The TDs come in, check the tilt bob, no, the ruling that's made his play on. So you're going back to the well and you're doing your strategy. Your in lanes get lit. You had there's your one that's already there, and so because you didn't tilt, like you said, they carry over. They carry over. Um, you got the AirPods in. Are you listening to music or are you just kind of blocking things out?
Yeah, I was listening to music. I
Okay.
have like a massive playlist that I just put on random sometimes. If I'm feeling like, I like music's the thing I want to do that day, then I'll just start playing that and just, put it on random or something.
It's
It helps sometimes, definitely with nerves or even just like, you know, getting you in, more comfortable when you're playing.
you heard that here, folks. He's listening to all the Wizards and Warrior episodes. No, I'm just kidding. But that's cool. I know some people. There's like I just bought some new headphones today because I want to see if it helps because I have the over the ear ones that you can still sort of hear. I'm interested. Did you always play with headphones or did you sort of change that up recently or?
Sometimes I'll just have one in and
Okay.
I won't always have music playing, but um no, I kind of just do what I'm feeling. Sometimes I won't listen to anything, but if I'm feeling music, I'll put on something.
Nice. So we're watching the Shats continue. It's just beautiful, beautiful play. The micro flips are so good. I that's one skill that when I watch you do them, I'm like, that's the skill I'd love to master because it's such a great way to get control on the get control of the ball instead of relying on a ski pass. You can sort of assist it a little bit with the micro flip like that right there. Um, is that how are you doing that? I guess if you were trying to teach new players, are you lightly depressing the button? How are you doing the micro flip?
Yeah, so, each game is different. Even
Mhm.
like if you're playing like one, say it's Jurassic Park compared to another, sometimes depending on like the way the flippers are, it's hard to flick them. Um, but on ones that you can flick pretty easily, like this one, you kind of just like are holding the flipper button in, and then you just do like without fully taking your finger off the flipper, you just do like a quick like flick, and then you could do trial and error and mess around with different like amounts that you're pressing in the button and stuff. And it's really just like once you get the feel for it, you'll be able to do it more consistently.
It's awesome. I mean, you've probably done it so much, you know, kind of what angles to look for. Is it just practice on figuring out when it's an appropriate time to do it? Because I know if you're just starting out, you might end up doing a not a panic flip, but it'll end up rainbowing to the out lane instead of doing a nice little slow flick down. Is it just practice that you've sort of figured out the angles, or you kind of know every time it hits this part of the flipper, I'm gonna do it there?
Yeah, and you have to wait like until the ball is at a certain spot on like the tip of the flipper to flick it over.
Okay.
I mean, there's different types of flicks. Like there's the Ostermeyer maneuver where you do like an earlier flick so that you keep the ball trapped on that same flipper, stops the momentum entirely. But sometimes, yeah, that flick, and it even happens to me once in a while. It can get you into trouble if you over flick, and then you could lob the ball into out lane or something. So you really gotta know what you're doing when you go for those micro flicks.
Awesome. So your ball 3 right there. Really well done. You're at 505,000 based on just shatzing. And, the traditional way that everybody used to play this was, at least as far as I know, was getting to multi-ball, ripping a spinner. And here we are learning, hey, wait a minute, you can actually demolish this by just lighting that in lane for 3K and going up and down and getting 9 to 15K every time. So Viggo's going to step up. Are you feeling comfortable with this score at this point?
I'm never really
Yeah,
comfortable
well,
when I'm playing with these guys.
comfortable is a loaded term.
Because once you start feeling comfortable, and then they'll come back and beat you anyway. So I always know, because I've learned, from experience. For example, when ZMAC had that comeback,
Yeah.
multiple comebacks in Disc this year,
Yeah.
you can't count them out ever, no matter what you put up. That's why you got to keep going forever and just keep grinding until you like just blow it up entirely. So
That's true.
I in my head I always know every one of these guys could easily do what I just did, so I got to keep pressing.
Nice.
So,
Yeah. Maybe comfortable is the wrong word. How are you feeling about your score at this time? You're like, you know what? I've done what I can.
yeah, I felt pretty satisfied.
Okay.
Because like that last shots, it went up and around or whatever. So
Yeah.
I knew I did what I could do. I would be, once you're satisfied with how you played, then you're much more accepting of whatever outcome happens.
Yeah, exactly. So Vigo's going to the Shat strategy. He only has 2 stand-up slits, so he was doing it while it was unlit, and he's hit right here. He's hit a couple rebounds where I thought it would hit that last one that he needed, which is the middle stand-up, but it didn't. He ended up nailing it off there it is, off the left flipper forehand shot. So he started his 3,000 in lanes at 222,000. So he needed 280K in lanes to pass you. But honestly, that's not that far off with that right. And like you said before, that right in lane was so friendly. And if you couldn't get it over to like right here, he had a good groove going, and he's already at 244 now. So he had like 22. So he was trying the shots to the left. Unfortunately, he missed it. It goes out of the left out lane, and you end up taking game 1. So 1-1. You take firepower, and you guys are now headed to the next one, which was Indy 500. What are your thoughts on firepower? Are you just happy that it was over, or you really you want to play it 6 more times, 5 more times?
I mean, obviously, if I could choose it, I would choose it multiple times. But no, I was satisfied with that result.
Yeah, nice. Really good game. Again, if you're watching this, please go to YouTube or Spotify and check out the Shatzing. If you want to see a clinic put on by Jason and Viggo in Shatzing and learn a new firepower strategy like we all did. Even Jason learned it before the tournament. So please go watch this. So we're at Indy 500. This was Viggo's pick.
Yes, that was Viggo's pick, but I chose to go first because I wanted to, get it while the flippers were still relatively alive, I guess.
And so what can you tell us about Indy 500? I know a lot of people know you go up the left orbit, hit off the upper right flipper to get to the loop combo, plus your lock shot is on that saucer in the center. But what's your strategy on Indy 500?
Yeah, just keep multi-balling out. That's my main strat. And then if you happen to see 3x, there's all those modes in the middle of it to light up 3x, and you're on the left flipper, you might as well take the right orbit to start 3x playfield. And then even better if you get that multi-ball going. But yeah, even just like the turbo combos at the loop combos at 3x are huge anyways.
And is the 3x random?
I don't know exactly how the modes light up. Maybe like a certain number of ramps like alternates it.
So the right orbit are your modes. Obviously, in the center of the playfield, there's a track, and they're lit up. So all those little flags are your modes, and you start it through the right orbit.
Yeah, mode start is right orbit, and then maybe the ramps or just the right ramp change the mode that's lit.
Jason, you mentioned. Sorry, Jason. You mentioned the last game had a pretty tight tilt. How was this game set up?
I think it was pretty reasonable. I mean, it was steep, so sometimes those flippers wouldn't have enough juice. At least the right flipper wouldn't always go around the left ramp, but I think it played pretty reasonable. Sometimes, though, I will say when I was the left orbit, it would come around so fast and it would rattle a little bit and change up the timing a bit. So that's part of why I missed some of those loop combos.
How do you qualify the modes? Do they just qualify automatically?
I'm not sure. They might, but I
Okay.
could be wrong.
And when you're in multi-ball, what are your jackpots are left and right ramp, correct?
Yep, just left, right, and then if it's a 3-ball multi-ball, so if you lock one ball in the turbo, while that's locked for however many seconds, the jackpot value is increased by 10 mil, I think.
Okay.
And then if you lock a second one, it's increased by another 10 mil. But if you lock the third one, you get the super, and they all release. But that's another way you can get an add a ball. If you're down to like 2 balls and you lock both of them in the turbo, then you get a third ball in play. So there's some nuances to the strat that you might want to do.
Okay, and your super is you got to get 2 balls into the turbo shot and then hit or you have to
I
collect
think
this.
all 3.
Okay.
Once you get the third one, it gives the super. But if you get 2 and you only have 2 balls in play, then it'll kick out the third one for you to either grind more jackpots during that timer or just collect the super.
And you qualify locks by just hitting the saucer or you have to hit the left
You gotta
orbit.
shoot the left orbit. So for the first multi-ball, it's set on easy, so you just have to get it in the turbo twice. And then eventually you have to shoot the left orbit either once or more times to qualify the lock.
Okay. So thank you for the explanation. So we're going to watch your ball 1 here. There's a skill that I think is really good for people to learn, and Eric mentioned it in the commentary as well as Jeff Teola. So here comes your ball 1. It's going to come over. I think it's when it comes from the right. So, or actually, it was right there. So the bump over, or when you're pushing it, it's kind of like it's dead bouncing, and then you're giving a little more oomph, so to speak. Is that something I see you do it a lot? Is that like a favorite skill of yours, or where you're like just moving the pin forward just a little to get it over to the other flipper? Can you explain that
Yeah, sometimes if it's not gonna, go over, you might want to assist it. I do that sometimes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
I
know.
think Z probably would as well because he's like one of the most bounce passer players that there is.
Okay, that's what it's called.
I've been
Bouncing.
calling that the ZMAC bump lately.
Yep, the Z-Mag bump. Yep.
Nice.
Does
Okay.
it all the time. I like doing them as well. They're fun.
Yeah, it's a really cool skill to watch because you see yourself moving it. As a viewer, you're watching you move it, and I'm like, okay, that ball wouldn't have got there had he not given it enough force to bounce pass it over. I really like that. So your ball 1, you chose to go first. Wasn't very eventful. 6.3 million. You had a brick shot from the right and went straight down the middle. So now your ball 2, you hit your loop combo for 10 million. Lock your ball 1. You missed the second loop combo, but you ended up repeating the shot to get your multi-ball start. So it was on easy. You only had to lock 2, and then when you plunge, you start your multi-ball. And then you get your ball locked in that VUC up top, Turbo Bobby as they were calling it. You get 2 consecutive jackpots, 30 and 32 mil. What kind of score were you looking for? Did you have sort of a threshold you'd seen in qualifying that was sort of holding up?
Well, I mean, this was the second time in a row, second match that I played this, because I played it against Arvid and he got over a bill. So I guess that was probably my main milestone was break a bill because I'm playing Viggo. He could easily do the same. So, and I mean, I'm always just going for the highest possible score, of course, but a bill would have probably been what I was thinking.
Do you have any goals for you, like ball to ball? Are you saying, well, ball one, if I can at least get one locked, I'm good to go? Or for this, are you just like, just get to the multi-ball as fast as I can on every single ball?
I like playing out the multi-balls. They're really fun on this game when you get it going. So
Yeah.
that was my main goal, just get into multi-ball pretty often and then maybe bring in a 3x or something like that. And then also there's another side multi-ball. I don't know how it lights, but eventually if you shoot the right ramp, it'll start like a 2-ball multi-ball. I think it's the turbo boost or something.
Yeah.
And that could be pretty lucrative.
Yeah. So here your ball two, you were down to 2-ball multi-ball after one went straight down the middle, but you got another 2 jackpots for 44 and 46 million respectively. End up with 286 million, which coming from a 6 million ball one, great ball. Like, how are you feeling after ball two?
I was not feeling the best, but it was not the worst thing because I still had one more ball, but didn't end up going ideally.
Yeah. So you had your 3x qualified here, and it looks like you were going for your loop combos. There's the bump over of the ski pass, and there's one, and then it wasn't like the timing, like you said, seemed a little off there because you had, it looks like 3 shots at it, and then it just wouldn't kind of settle to where you needed to go, and then it went to the right out lane. But you had the 3x, you had it there for you, so that's all you can ask for, and then it's up to the player then to make the shot. So you finish with 333 million, not a terrible score by any means. And then now, are you watching Viggo when he comes up, or are you away?
Yeah, I was watching.
Okay, yeah. So we're gonna watch this ball one. This was an amazing ball one, so you're probably guessing what happened here. What were you thinking when he started his multi-ball? You're just like, uh-oh, he's in the zone.
Yeah, I assumed he was going to catch me pretty easily. Like 300 is not much to catch anyway, so
Yeah.
I wasn't like holding my breath. I'm like, he'll probably get me. It's not too big a deal.
All right. So we're gonna play this footage because we were talking about this earlier about some of the skills that everybody, these kids have, and yourself included. But I'm gonna play the footage, and we're gonna watch this Viggo tap pass on a modern. So here we go.
I've never known you to any rumbling. Rumbling? Never get off track. You should see me on TV. I'm always talking about cats and dogs and whatever.
There's one.
Okay.
Look at
that.
Right
Number
there.
to beat.
It was
It's one of the best games of this era that you could tap pass on.
Yeah, it was
You
crazy.
can really do it on like any Bally Williams games, and even like sometimes on the newer games you can as well.
We'll watch that one more time, and this time.
I've
So
never
it's
known
coming.
you
It's
to
going to
any
shoot out from
rumbling.
the plunger,
Never get off
and
track. You should see me
then
on TV. I'm always talking about cats and dogs and whatever.
There's
here it
one.
comes.
Okay.
Number
Just
333
crazy.
is
Yeah, it's
to beat.
beautiful. It's one of the. It might be the most aesthetically pleasing skill to see that
Yeah,
there is.
it really is. He was letting the balls drain during the multi-ball start. Do you know what that's about? Just getting an easier shot on the left ramp.
I actually wasn't doing that, but usually what you can do, like sometimes what the kids will do is you'll tap pass like multiple of them to the left flipper, or I don't know. There's like a certain sequence, but
Oh, I meant
maybe
like
just
at
use
the
one of them out of the way and then just get a clean shot at the ramp. That's probably what he was doing.
yeah, because they were saying on commentary too during the start of these multi-balls, he would just let like 1 or 2 drain and then take his shot. So he had his first multi-ball. He ends with 71 million. Gets his loop combo with 14 and 16. He's at 108. He starts his second multi-ball at 108 million, as you can see the footage here. It was just going his way on ball one. So they hit the fireworks. He hit a super for 56 million. He got his third ball back because both balls were in that turbo shot, and he ends up passing you on ball one. with the
Yeah,
400.
he made light work of that. That was well done by Viggo.
Yeah, that was a great ball. I mean, Indy is always fun to watch, especially when players are in the groove. Unfortunately, you don't want to be on the opposite side of it, but still a fun game to watch. It's now 2-1, and we go to your pick, Demolition Man, correct?
Yep.
All right. So we're going to raise the footage over here to Demolition Man. We saw this in Indisc, right? As well.
I don't think in disc, but I'm trying to remember. I know that at the Delaware Pinball Collective they have one, which
Okay.
I mean I really love Demo Man, but
Yeah.
I would like to see it at more tournaments, honestly.
Yeah. Are you a trigger guy?
So not really, but there is a way that you can like get cheap points. Like if you are motivated to get like an extra million per combo without playing with triggers, is you'll shoot a combo and then you'll trick the game by pressing like the trigger right before it registers it, and then it'll give you like the combo points. It's just a mill, but it could add up, I guess, if you do it for a while.
Yeah.
I don't solely play with the triggers though.
Yeah, I apologize. I think it was Johnny Mnemonic at Indisc. I'm thinking of the last bank. So for Demo Man, you want to tell us like what your strategy is, what you know about it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple different ways to get multi-ball. I really just the first thing I want to do is just get into that first multi-ball ASAP and get some points from that. And then the cool thing about this game is you can choose when you want to the light multi-ball claw award, because what that does is it spots you all of your quick freezes at once. So there is some planning you could do. The other, the way you light your claw is by completing the top lanes, and the way you light your quick freezes is getting all the 5 white stand-up targets. That lights your quick freeze. Once you get enough, you'll light it's multi-ball. So it's really all about multi-balls this game. And then also you could get like computer rewards, buy enough combos, and those could get pretty good too.
So are the flashing red shots, are those your freeze shots? The white stand-ups were to light your quick freeze. So what are the flashing red shots? Just the start of your combo shots, or?
Yeah, those are just combos.
Okay.
The red shots, unless you're in a mode, like they're usually just combo points.
Okay, and how do you start your modes? Is that just the?
It's just the claw awards.
Okay.
Like you could select. There's a few modes to choose from, and there's like other side modes, but I don't really pay attention to those.
How did this play? Were you happy with the flipper strength, tilt, all that?
Yeah, I like the way this one played.
Nice. And this one, it looks like Viggo chose to go first based on the commentary. It looks like yeah. So they have triggers that you can get extra points for. I remember seeing Andrew Foster play this at Yegpin last year, I feel like, and he was just comboing out. It was that center shot to then use the upper flipper to the right, that right like scoop or whatever it is down there. Is
Yeah,
that
the
have you?
computer shot.
Yeah, have you ever just comboed out, or are you just going for multi-ball?
I do sometimes. I mean, it really just depends on if you could, every time you get it in the right in lane, if you could pass it back to the left flipper. I mean, you can try backhanding the middle shot, but that can be a little bit tricky. But yeah, combos is another good strat for sure, because then eventually, and there's one computer award that lights one of your multi-balls because it gives you max quick freezes. So, and another computer award is great, is collect bonus. And I don't know if it's based on the ROM, if it was like a fixed order of what the award, it probably was, but yeah, combos is a great strat as well.
Yeah, this was interesting because so Viggo steps up and he was going for his light free shot, but he missed the forehand. He had the forehand and missed it, went to the right out lane. So he had a really quick ball. It was only 2.7 million. And when you step up, you actually get an award that they noted on stream. It was like the bonus hold right away. And that can be huge because bonus is big in this, correct?
Oh yeah, it could be huge. 5x and you got a ton of combos. Yeah, the way I got that, there's a scoop like above the middle shot, like that the ball goes into when you shoot the left orbit. When your multi-ball is lit. But if it accidentally bounces in there from like a center shot, that usually I think will give you the bonus hold award. and I happened to get lucky with that, which was nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, especially on ball one, it's like, all right, I'll take that. I can build things up here.
Yep.
Joe, have you played a lot of Demo Man and tourneys?
It's been a little while. We used to have one on location near me, but yeah, I don't think I've really played it very recently.
Yeah.
I
So
do like using the triggers. It's pretty fun.
it is, right? Yeah, I know there's who does it, like Luke does it a lot. Someone does it a lot. That it's like they go
It is
like
fun just for the hell of it. I don't know. Maybe if it's a smaller tournament, why not?
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
if it's a totally different feeling.
It really is, and the timing is just like, I don't know. I feel a little younger and quicker with my high hand coordination. I'm not a big gun guy, so like pulling the trigger, I'm like, got to get it. All right, so you're in Fortress Multiball. That's the first one, and you're already at 366 million. You're obviously happy to be in it, just like you said, because you want to get to that first multiball. And why do you want to get to the first multiball on ball one? Was there a strategic reason?
I kind of just want to get it out of the way because
Gotcha.
like the second one is really good because all the shots are lit for jackpots, and then eventually, if you get to like the third and fourth multi-ball, and yeah, the fourth multi-ball is cryo prison, and that could be massive points. You could get like hundreds of mils for supers and stuff. So that's kind of like the end goal. And then of course after you play the fourth multi-ball, the right ramp will be lit for a demolition jackpot, which is huge points depending on how well you played your other, the first four multi-balls.
Gotcha.
So, and then you just rinse and repeat after that. So that's pretty much what I was going for.
Have you ever owned a Demo Man, or you just played it on location or in tournaments?
We did for a short period of time many years ago, but I would really like to own one right now. It's one of my favorite games. It has such good flow once you get into it, and it's a really good game.
Yeah. Hey, it's a buyer's market right now. I'm sure you can find one for a decent sale. So you're at your second. You qualified the second multi-ball museum, but you had amazing ball one, 537 million. I'm assuming in your head you're pleased with this good start because you've got your second one ready, you finished your first one, and it wasn't a bad one.
Yeah, I felt good here for sure.
So Viggo comes up and hoping to not repeat what happened in ball one, and we're going to see here. He goes half ramp and straight down the middle. Nope, not that one. It was one of them. It was a half. He had three half ramps basically. Yeah, very mean. On a half ramp, are you expecting a drain? Are you automatically moving it on most pins?
Yeah, I mean, always expect the worst. You got to be ready for this stuff to happen to try to save it, maybe. But I don't think that happened to me, luckily, during that particular game that we played. But half ramps can be deadly, yeah, like that.
So I want to ask about what's happening here. I'm going to let the audio play. You're about to step up, and then I think you found a friend on the play field. What was that?
I don't know what. Yeah, it wasn't a fly. It was like some small bug that was just like hanging on the game on the glass. I'm like trying to get it off, and it just wouldn't move.
Yeah,
and then Arkin came up, and we were trying to mess with it. So
yeah, they were talking about. They're like, oh, he's got a spider. He's trying to make a. He's like, this is going to be his new pet for like all the tournaments.
Yeah, that was pretty random, but that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And eventually it left. So we saved the bug as well.
Yeah, you didn't kill it. Thank you for doing the humane thing.
You didn't smash the glass, kill it. Nah.
That happened in another game.
Yeah, it was like, it's just crazy. It's like, of all the things that could happen, you're always going to see something new at some tournament. So,
At least it wasn't a mistake.
Right? That you would have smashed.
Yep.
So you get into your museum multi-ball, as you can see here. You're already at 690 million. You have to hit every single one of these shots to get the super in museum, right?
Yep. So you hit each shot once, and then I feel like sometimes it makes you shoot one of the side, like maybe the side ramp. I'm not sure though. But then eventually it'll just like the super at the right ramp, and then just rinse, repeat, shoot all the shots again.
Okay. And so I think at this point, I mean, it's not, you're at 726, and then you have a sort of like, it's looked like I don't want to say it was a double drain, but it like went out there. There's one that goes out there, I think it went out the right, and then the other one came straight down the middle, like almost at the same time. So good drop catch there. And then we'll get to it. There's your museum, 720. It comes about right here. But it goes, let's see, it's flick up, flick to the right, and then it's coming, I promise. I might have rewinded it too much, but it was like right down the middle there, and then it's coming out of the left. I forgot what that's, the eye or the captive ball shot, and then it goes down again. Oh, the retina scan, excuse me. That's your captive ball that has a hurry up. And then where was the drain here? Maybe I have this mistaken. I feel like it was, oh, you were already at the hurry up on your explode shot. So you were at 751 here. You ended museum at 736, so just about 200 million. And then you exit it, and then it's a half ramp. Something happens around here. Oh, you shot the claw and you pick ACMAG. That's what it was. I apologize. Why did you choose ACMAG on the claw?
Because it's just you shoot the middle all day, and that's kind of what I was doing already with like getting combos. So I thought it's a good stack, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. So by the time you're done with ACMAG, I don't think it was a very long ACMAG, but you shoot the center ramp and it builds up that value, or is that value just automatically that bar keep going up?
I think it does it on its own.
Does it
but
on its own?
just keep
Okay.
doing the center all day during that mode.
Yeah. So it was during ACMAG. I think you had about 200 million, and you can see your value keep. Does ACMAG end after a certain amount of shots, or does it just keep going?
I'm not sure actually. I don't really pay attention to the modes in this game. I'm with multi-balls. That's all I'm focused on.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I think it was right here. It was a straight down the middle from a missed or a rebound off the center. Sorry. I thought for some reason I thought it was a double drain on the multi-ball. But anyways, 938 after ACMAG. Your opponent has 11 million going into ball 3. Same strategy, multi-ball. Thinking about multi-ball, hoping he doesn't get a huge one.
I felt pretty good, but he had a lot of grinding ahead of him, and then he would have to point press even more, even if he did get to like a billion. So I felt pretty good here.
Yeah,
I think it ended kind of quickly for him, but I wasn't watching.
it did. He started his fortress. He didn't get the super, and then like it drains. He ends up with 144 million, so it's going to end soon here. So he's bouncing around. Again, he's got it goes out the right, and then it goes out the left. So it was kind of nasty how it ended right there, because he had a lot of work to do. So you get the walk off, but now again we're 2-2. Thoughts on Demo Man?
No, I was very happy with that. I think I played pretty well on that, and I love that game in general.
Yep. And so now you're on to the moderns, right?
Yep.
This was Vigo's pick, Jaws Pro.
Yeah, that was his pick.
How comfortable were you on this Jaws?
Well, Jaws in general, I'm very comfortable. This
Nice.
one was very brutal. So I think that was like one of the first games I played like during the practice session, like on the first day. And yeah, it was not easy because also the big thing, the big annoyance for me at least, when you hold the ball and like the mini flipper on the right and you let it go, on normal Jaws, it would just go down the right in lane and you'd be fine. But on this one, they removed like the upper in lane, out lane post, and it would bounce very frequently into the right out lane if
Ugh.
you let the ball drop down there.
Oh,
So not to mention they removed the rubber off of like the post that you save the ball with coming when it comes down the right out lane. So that was a really, really sketch area.
That's crazy. That's insanely mean, because you're hoping for that safe feed from that upper mini flipper, especially when you're using flip lock and you're trying to, because shooting into those stand-ups on the left for your fish finder awards, like it's not safe. It's going all over the place.
Yeah.
What was your strategy on this Jaws? What's your strategy on Jaws in general? For people that don't know, you hit the shark a few times to start your mode, and then each mode is one of the shots left to right. Scars is the middle one, which most people take if there's no multi-ball going. What are you going for on this?
Yeah, usually I just start with scars in the beginning. I kind of just want to do that in single ball play because you don't want it in multi-ball because every stand up you hit lowers the shot values. So I kind of just wanted to try to complete that and then get the chum line going because eventually I want to have my next mode lit for when multi-ball is lit. So then I wanted a better mode to bring into multi-ball. So that's like the beginning part of my game at least.
Nice. Did you see any far advancement during qualifying or in the playoffs on this Jaws? Like, did anybody get to? I won't say 4th of July. Maybe search or rescue.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't even play it in qualifying once. I think this was the first time I played it that
Oh, no.
week in the competition. So at least I had the 30 seconds practice right before it.
I was gonna say, how did you did you get much practice or just that time right there?
Yeah, not much. Just like the first time originally, and then right before he played it here.
Gotcha.
Did
Okay.
you know about the ball on the upper flipper dropping into the outlane
Yeah,
before
I
like
found
you
that
get to
out
it?
like the first day.
Oh,
Like when I saw that right out lane, I was terrified of that. Not to mention the tilt was pretty tight on this one, so you can't really do much.
yeah.
Yeah, this one it looks tough as it is. So we're on Vigo's ball 1. I'm gonna play the audio here because there's a good move he makes here.
Okay, so that fit was lit for the Jackpot.
From the left outlane, he predicted the trajectory. Yeah, boom, right there.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah, see, I feel like one of the worst ways to train is the in lane to out lane because you're like, it's supposed to be safe. It's it's within 2 pieces of metal or plastic, and that was just such a good move. I'm gonna watch it one more time because it was just so nice. I'll let the audio play.
The fin is going to be lit for what they call a counter jackpot, and that is.
So it's coming over here from the right.
Oh, he got it already. Okay, so
and then it's gonna go.
Jackpot.
I think it's after this shot right here.
It's a percentage of.
Yeah, it was like a power like reverse in lane.
Yeah,
and then he did such a good preempt. It was so preemptive though. Like
and that's
he instinctively knew that it was gonna drain, so he just didn't chance it, and he just got it the hell out of that area right before it even happened.
And I feel like that's such a skill you have to learn about predicting angles and when you have to make your big move. Not only do you have to know how big of a move you need to make based on sensitivity of the tilt bob and maybe getting some debounce or whatever you can, but then you also have to figure out, all right, what are the angles where I'm gonna be in that danger. That was such a, I don't want to cliche and say pro move, but man, that seemed really advanced. So
Yeah, and you really have to read the ball well in those situations, and he did. So props to him for that. That was a great move.
do you have any transferable skills from bowling that help you read the ball, or is that or vice versa? Is pinball helping your bowling as well?
I mean, I mentioned earlier that it's like the same kind of idea of like once you lock in the perfect shot, it's just all about repetition and consistency, and there's a lot of that in pinball as well. I'm pretty new to bowling. Like that was my first year at the club, so but I do plan on doing it more. It is a lot of fun.
It is, yeah. I love seeing when people like ride the edge and it's got so much spin. I mean, I'm a throw it up and in the middle kind of guy, but I love watching people get that crazy spin on it. So Vigo's ball 1, pretty solid, 92 million. What were you thinking seeing his score going in?
I wasn't really thinking about a score much because it's not the biggest score, but
Yeah.
it is pretty good with the way this one was playing. So I just wanted to put up something in a mode or two, and then even if I had to, like, I ended up grinding a multi-ball. So there are so many ways. That's why it's such a good game. There's so many ways to just grind out a good score on this game.
What is your favorite Elwyn? AIQ?
Oh, I mean, I'm really comfortable on that in tournaments, especially. I really love Godzilla as well, and that's like everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a really good game. I'm fine with all of them pretty much. Jurassic Park has been consistently one of my favorite games for years now. We
Right.
have one here,
Awesome.
and also we have Iron Maiden, great game. And what else? Yeah, Jaws and now Kong. I've played Kong. I think that game is really slow. I feel like Keith's games are, I don't know, they're just really comfortable, very compatible with me. So
Yeah,
I always like seeing tournaments.
I think the transferable the transfer of tournament players to designing and coding games really shines, and that's why they become people's favorites. From Keith to Ray Day on code, Lyman, his code on Walking Dead is my favorite, and they were all great player. They're all great players. So there's something to be said about having somebody that kind of understands where the shots need to go, what the software needs to tell you to do, and those guys really, really have a knack for it. So your ball one, unfortunately, you got the short plunge, no skill shot, big move off the sling to hit the left out lane, and that was 831,000. So a very forgettable ball one, but again, it's not an easy jaws, and you've got two other balls. If you have a quick ball one, are you thinking now focus on the multi-ball or just stick with the strategy of modes, then hopefully multi-ball?
I was just sticking with my current plan. It was just like same situation minus a ball. Really, that's what I was doing in that case.
Yeah. So they are checking something here, and then so what happened with the jaws? Do you remember? They were like, oh, you know what? I remember the left switch. So Viggo, that's what it was. He hit the he had his multi-ball prepped, and he hit the left loop, and it went down, and that was lit to get the up post so he could attack the fin or whatever it was, and it didn't register. So I think this is what they were checking, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I think the left orbit. I think when his multi-ball was lit, it just didn't register at all.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, he got screwed again, because after it happened, he where's his, so he shoots it, and then it so I think it was ready for him, and he had that shot dialed down, and it's eventually gonna get there. Let's see if it hit. So here it is. He's ready for it, and then it goes up. He's like, wait a minute, it didn't stop it. And then he ended up going straight down the middle. He's like, yeah, they gave it the finger.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was like,
oh, that's unfortunate.
yeah, I was like, he's snake bit. First he had the firepower sling tilt, and then he had the up post not coming up or registering. So I'm glad
That's the thing. You have to always, assume that things like that can happen with pinball, because they do happen, and you really have to be good at recovering from those crazy situations. Like, again, you got to reset, because if you don't, it might happen more, or you just might play worse. So you really have to be ready for that.
Exactly. So
he was ready, because he played great right after that happened on the next ball. So
exactly, he had everything set up for him, and his ball too was just really masterful. A good primer on what to see in jaws. He got to his multi-ball, really solid ball. He got the quick shot, started bashing the chum bucket, got his atta-ball, stacked night swim at the same time. One ball went out the right out lane off the right plastic rebound. The other ball went straight down the middle after a missed center ramp shot. You can see him. He's in night swim right now. He's already at 157 million. His life ring was ready. He closed the beach on the right. I love that about this game, closing the beaches, just because it's another thing you can go for, and you don't have to worry about just sticking with modes and multi-ball. Because I saw Escher at Papa last year. He had the machete ready, and his beach was ready to be closed. He's like, all right, shoot this, get the machete 4x, and then close the beach, and you'll get that 4x multiplied value. It's just a great pin. I think you've said it. I've said it perfectly. There's a lot to do, and you see right there, he had 90 million on Night Swim. So he's going into his ball 3, sitting at 214 million. You start super life rig mode. I think that's one of the best ones. What are your thoughts on the fish finders?
And it's cool how you could also machete it sometimes. Because that can get pretty big, actually.
Yeah, it can get nutty. And if you're in a multi-ball, it's even better, because then you've got multiple chances at maybe a rebound hitting it, because it starts at 10. And yeah, it just keeps going up. So you got up to 20 million on the life ring. You ended up with about 53 million. And then you started scars smartly without multi-ball. And where were you here? So you got a few scar shots in a row, and then you hit the fin. But unfortunately, we'll see it here. This is why you need gear in this game, and you need the one piece of gear that everybody needs right here. So here's your shot. Boom. And having the shark cage to extend to get a multi-ball or get a ball save after the fin shot. It's a great mechanic. I love that they added that as far as the fin moving, and then also potentially needing that shark cage gear so that in case you do get one of those right back at yous, you get the ball back. 89 million, ball 2. Here we go, ball 3. This one is quick for Viggo. Yeah, it's right here. He's somewhere here. There's the footage. He ends with 225 million. You can see he's at 214 right now, and it just doesn't really work out for him. We'll watch it. It was like a quick rebound to the right out lane. But have you played at the LPA before?
I have not. I have
Okay.
actually never been to Sweden.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's is that where Worlds are being held next year? Do you know?
That's what I've heard. I
Okay.
think the next time, 2 years from now, and when it's in Europe, I have heard it might be at LPA, which would be really cool.
Yeah,
I would be excited for that. I think
definitely.
next year I've heard it might be at D82 in Wisconsin.
Oh,
That would be very interesting if that's
I
true.
heard that too.
that
How
was
was the? I was gonna say, how's the venue here this year in Austria? I heard there was no AC.
Oh yeah, it did get pretty warm. They had like a lot of fans throughout the place. Just had to get used to it really, but it was
Yeah,
a really nice venue. I really liked the way the games played for the most part, and everyone there was really great. I loved it. It was a great time.
nice. So you got a little portable fan, Hottie. I think you're.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was gonna say, you guys need to get one of these portable fans that see, there you go for Pinburg coming up, because with double the amount of players, it's gonna get hot, I bet. So we'll see. We'll see.
That's true.
Yeah, you're ball 3 here, so we're getting ready on Jaws. You had a double danger pretty quickly on this. I think it was just the way the ball was moving. You made a really good move to save it, but you start raft attack. You qualified your Jaws multi-ball. You had to hit the fin again a little too early, but you did get. I think there's a setting on Jaws where in competition, like you have to hit the life ring at the right time versus normally when you get a little bit of grace. Did you see that by any chance?
Yeah, I think there was a small grace with the life ring,
Okay.
but it's nice when you're in the super life ring. The first time you hit the target, it just instantly gives you the life ring.
That's awesome. So you are in your Jaws multi-ball part 1. You've grinded it out to about 144 million. Get a straight down the middle there during it, but really good work here to kind of sort of get as much clawback as you can, because raft attack was a solid mode for you at ending at 120 million. But I think you go to qualify the last beachgoer here on the left. There was a fin shot there, a little too early, and you can see you flipping the ball away from the upper flipper smartly and not letting it go out. But you remember much about this ball 3?
Yeah, I was going for the quick shots, I think, because I wanted some gear, because
Got it.
every time you collect it, it lights a gear for you. So I think that's what I was doing at this point in the game. But I could have also just gone for another mode, and then maybe if I had like a decent machete, that easily could have been enough to catch him, but didn't end up working out, unfortunately.
Yeah, you ended up hitting the stand up to qualify that last beach score, and those can be solid points, especially if you have a machete ready. But you end up with 154 million. So Viggo takes this one. So you guys are just trading blows. How is your, if you can remember, how's your like physical fatigue at the point? Are you still energized and on adrenaline, or are you getting you thinking you're a little tired or whatnot?
I'll be entirely honest. I don't know how I lasted as long as I did that day, because it was insanely exhausting. Like by the end of it, I was totally drained. I mean, I was super excited after I won it, but I mean, like especially in that last match, it was a lot of effort that I had to put in, a
Yeah,
lot of energy.
I don't know.
But the adrenaline, that was probably why I was still going. But yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
don't know how
really,
you
really
guys do it, man. It's a lot. And how much what was the time difference? Are you how when you were over there, were we You were like 6 hours ahead, 6 hours behind, something like that?
Yeah, I think 6 hours ahead.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so we are going to the next game. It's 3-2. So if Viggo wins this, he wins it all, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
They
So
were
If I win it,
I'm
then we go
observing.
to overtime.
Yeah, they were observing in the chat while I was watching on stream that you guys were playing on serve, so no one had lost a match that you had picked yet.
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah, this was like the most staggered, like back and forth match of the day, and maybe ever had match that I played, and it was crazy. Like every other game, one of us won. He won me. It was very intense.
so we get up to Kiss. This looks like an LE, right?
I don't think so
Oh,
because
okay.
I think that LE with the love gun, when you shoot the right ramp, I think it like diverts it into that love gun area.
Gotcha.
But
Okay, I see this plaque on it. I was like, oh, that looks like an LE plaque, but I definitely could be wrong. So why did you choose Kiss?
I love this game. It's like the same playfield as Aerosmith. We actually own an Aerosmith here, but I really like the flow on it. It's pretty simple. You just get into a good mode and then get into Love Gun Multiball, and then you're just jamming out on shots pretty much.
What
I
mode of
played this in qualifying like twice, I think, and I did really well on it, so I chose it as my go-to pick for the new era in finals.
what mode are you choosing normally? When you get a chance to?
Usually I start with deuce. I think I just do that because that's what everyone does, but I think it's like 2 shots that are, moving around, um, and then it's pretty simple to complete, and the thing is you wanna complete the modes in this game because you get a playfield multiplier every time you do. So first, if you complete a mode, you get 2x, and then next one you're at 3x, then the next one's 6x, I believe. I could be wrong, but the thing is, it's tough because if you lose the ball, it resets all of your playfield multipliers. But ideally, you want to get like complete a mode or something, and then start another good mode, and then start left gun playfield multiplier, and that's when the points can get huge. You're comboing shots. So
That's awesome. So how do you start Love Gun Multiball for people that don't know?
So it's a shot that Viggo just shot from the right flipper. It's to the very right of those left pop bumpers. You get it, yeah. That's that shot right there.
Got it.
The Star Child shot, and eventually there's like slingshots up there. If you get enough hits, it'll eventually light the right ramp to start Love Gun Multiball, and then you just get that.
So the giant demon head, the stand-ups with the locks around it, you're not going for that normally, correct?
Nope, I did not even try for that. And like the kick out being sketch a lot of the time. I know we'll get to that on Ball 3, but yeah,
Yes.
I wasn't even trying for Demon.
Yeah, that's why I brought it up, because Eric was flabbergasted on why you were shooting that in near that area. But we're watching Viggo right now, and he starts his love gun. He locked in. So there's a hurry up value too when you start love gun, correct? So you got to shoot it back in the same area to lock it in.
Yeah, as soon as you shoot the right ramp and it starts the multi-ball, you have to. It starts. I forget the value, but you have to lock in a high. Maybe it's 1,000,000. It starts at, and then you just shoot the Star Child shot, and then it locks in the hurry up, and then that's your value of all your jackpots for that multi-ball.
Okay, so Viggo, solid ball won 32 million. Did you get to play this before in any of the qualifying or playoffs?
Yeah, yeah. So I think I played it maybe twice in qualifying. I think the first time, I got like a little, maybe 900 something, and then the second time I played it, that might have been actually in the tiebreaker for a double buy after qualifying ended. I played it against ZMAC and Kaylee and someone else, but yeah, that I did well on it that time as well. So I was consistently doing well on this game. So I like the way I played.
I think you do, because I feel like at Papa you set a nice high score on the one at Interium, right?
Oh yeah, that was for fun in the free play area, and it's ridiculous because if you get to like 6x playfield or max playfield X, and you get into that super wizard mode, if you're comboing shots, because every time you combo it you 2x for the second shot. So all the shots you're building the value of like the ultimate super, and then eventually if you like shoot the middle ramp combo into the demon for the big super, it's billions. I don't even know where it comes from. But that compared to the rest of the scoring on that game is insane. So I had like billions on that game. I think maybe over 10 bill or something.
Yeah, I saw a picture of it. I was like, oh, I'm going to ask him about that score because
That was not my game plan for this though, because I mean you'd have to grind every single mode and then do other things. I was just trying to get good value out of basic mode multi-ball stacks in this competition.
yeah. So we just saw your ball one on the footage there. You had some love gun prep. You had a right orbit shot. Unfortunately, went to the right out lane. So 3.4 million. Viggo is coming up. He's going to make a big move and get two dangers. He's holding up right there because he just made it. I think we'll see it. Sorry, it's going to come up soon. But he had to make the move for, to keep. You want to make the move. If you're watching this and you're new to pinball, you want to move the machine because it's better to at least potentially get a tilt versus watching the ball go out. You got to give yourself that chance. And I think a lot of people get scared to move the pin. I know I do because I'm like, well, I don't want to give away my bonus, but then my bonus is like 1,000. So, just give it away, save the ball. But he had his love gun ready again. He started his love gun the second time with the 2x playfield. There's his move right there. Boom. Really nice because he moved it and it went in lane, out lane again, but cradled right back on the left flipper. So
he sacrificed the camera, the streaming room,
yeah,
but
right.
it was worth it. I will say it was worth it.
Sorry, JDL, and sorry, Tom and Carl. In the future, your rig is not as important as the as the save.
That's what happens when you have a physical sport like pinball, and you have to nudge in those cases. Yeah, that was the right move. It was a good move.
Exactly. And so during his love gun, we'll get to it here. I think he was trying to separate a cradle separation. What are you doing on cradle separation? Are you always like lightly pressing the flipper so that it doesn't go all over the place, or sometimes it's just situational where you're like, you know what, I got to break everything up?
Yeah, usually you kind of just want to flick one up and then have it collide. It goes onto the sling and then it collides into the one that's cradled and then pass it over to the other flipper. Usually I don't want the chaos of both of them going out of control, but there's all different patterns of like cradle separations. And sometimes there's another cool one where you could do like, you flick one up and then you post past the other, like an up and over or over under. I think there's two different types.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget, but yeah, there's a lot of cool post pass maneuvers.
That's awesome. Yeah. So he tried to separate. He lost, fortunately, both of them. And then I think it comes down shot for love, shoots love gun again to start it, or at least prep it. And then it rattles out and goes to the right outline. But he's at 53 million. So I'm going to ask about a move you make at 233 here. So you're up. I don't know where it comes from, but I think it's such a cool move that we see here. So I'm going to play it and let the audio play, and then you tell me. So you get the ball on the left, and you'll see what you do. We'll let it play for about 15 seconds. So it's going to come off the left, and it's at about 233.05. So it's coming up in about right here.
1 minute 30.
No, it's the next one, I think. I think it's like, yeah.
Wondering.
So you drop, the ball will drop
take the opponent
off
to say,
your,
I want
let
that
me make
personal.
sure.
Love gun, here we go.
Drops, and then you bump it over. I just think that's such a cool move.
I don't ever really do those, but I kind of just saw, I don't know, I felt like I could in that case, so I just went with it, I think.
Did you learn that just from somebody else, or because I've never seen someone have the ball and roll up and say, you know what, I'm just going to let it drop and push it over?
I don't know. I don't know why that idea popped into my head at that time. I guess I was rushing and I just wanted the ball on that right flipper in any way I could. So I'm like, let me just try this. There's ball save. So
Yeah, it was just,
I think that's probably what went through my head.
yeah, here it is again. It's just going to hold up and say, up, drop and bump it over. I'm like, that looks like it's going down.
Yeah, that's
really cool move. Yeah, really cool move. Your love gun unfortunately ends at 5 million or so. You did start your next love gun multiball, which is good because you had your 2x playfield going. It was ready, and you had a forehand shot to the scoop to get a new track. I think here, yeah, you shoot the left scoop to pick a new song. Is that correct? Or I'm not sure. Like it was. The left scoop was lit, so you were at 5 million, and let me see, it's around. You end up with about, where are you here? I think we're still in the second love gun. What's your score? You're I might have went back a little too much. Let me go up. Yeah, so you end up with 48 billion. I don't think I can get further back. Yeah, so your multi-ball will end here. Coming up soon, but you're at about 17, but you were picking off these jackpots, which are really good value, because I noticed you were at 17 there, and then you start hitting like 2 or 3 in a row, and it's double jackpot. So how do you get the double jackpot? I'll ask that.
So, I mean, there's multiple different like ways to multiply jackpots. One being just your playfield multipliers that you get from completing modes, and then the other way is okay. So the double, I think, comes from the way the multi-ball works is all the shots are lit purple,
Mhm.
and then when you shoot one shot, it locks in only that shot lit, and then the second time you shoot it, it's double points. So that's the double jackpot. But like I said, you could multiply that with playfield X, and then if you combo it, combo into that, it's also another 2x. So
Gotcha.
this game is really multiplier heavy. And if you stack a ton of multipliers onto these shots, that's where the huge points can come from, especially when you do it like for the super in Love Gun. That you can get hundreds of mil for that.
Awesome. So I think this is the part right here where there's a red flashing insert on the scoop, and I didn't know why you were shooting that. I didn't know if you're trying to change the song or if that's the
Yeah,
strat.
I think I was trying to go for a new song there.
Gotcha. So you're at 48 million. Again, you guys are close here, and you have to win this. Otherwise, Viggo takes it. So we're going to go to 238.45 because there's a really good move from Viggo here. I'm going to let the audio play, and he is making a good shake right here.
Yeah.
In there again. What? Uh-oh. Crikey, that was
Control. Nice bail.
Yeah. But the reaction was
that's
there.
All right.
That was a lot of speed.
It was.
Should be coming up soon.
more
I
in
might have
there.
went a little too far back. Right
Oh, no,
there.
no. What a shake.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All three of potentially the last game of the championship. That's really impressive.
Yeah, and it reminded me of that first shimmy that he tried to make on Pharaoh, but this time it was more successful. So just a good move by him. But he has this. I mean, it's not the worst ball, but it's not the best ball. 56 million. You're down by 8. Can you tell me?
Yeah, that's not what he wanted right there.
Can you tell me in your head? Were you watching him then, or were you away?
I think on and off.
Okay.
I was like in another room, but yeah.
So-
That was huge for me. That was a huge opening. And this is as soon as he drained and I had like less I had to come up with a whole separate plan for what I needed to do on ball 3 because I was not going to grind all the way, survive all those to start multi-ball because I don't need a ton of points. I just need like safe mode points basically would be enough in this case. So I totally came up with a plan and ended up choosing Rock and Roll All Night. That song I like because you can the middle ramp is already lit, so that's a free shot. And then it's all about combos. It's kind of like Rats in the Cellar on Aerosmith. So if you could get a couple of combos, I would pretty much be there and have him. But the SCC, I went middle rank first there. But man, that was crazy, that in lane.
Yes.
This had to be maybe one of
I
the
just went for
most
that
stressful
shot
things.
because it was points, and I just wanted points at that moment.
What were you going to say, Joe?
Sorry, I was gonna say this is probably like one of the biggest balls of the series, right? Just everything on the line.
This was it. This was the
Yeah.
tournament. Right here, I had it in my hands to survive, and he had it
Yep.
to win. So
Yep.
that was a huge momentum shifter. That could have won him the championship, but that was scary to play through. I'll say. I decided to answer the question why I went for the scoop, the demon shot, was because I was more comfortable shooting that than the right ramp on the fly because you could be in just as much danger if you miss that right ramp, if you brick it or something. So I figured it's pretty easy for me to combo into the demon. I might as well just take it. So that's what I ended up doing, and thankfully I survived all those kickouts because that doesn't always happen.
Yeah, I was going to ask because I note that in this mode, you hit your center ramp, but it's not always after you've hit it, it's not lit. Do you have to hit the demon mode then the demon to activate it again? Because then after you hit inside the demon, it lights up again, that center ramp.
Yeah, so the way it works is the shots the shots go from left to right. So you have like all the left side shots will be lit, and you shoot any of them, then it moves to all the right shots being lit. So you have to go left, right, left, right. So that's why it's a pretty simple one. You could also do kind of like walk this way on Aerosmith. You just middle ramp, middle ramp, and you're getting the double combo points every time. But I decided I was comfortable with the demon shot, so I went for it and just chanced it and got lucky. So
That was awesome. Like, because everyone's like, well, maybe he'll prep Love Gun again, but then they saw Rock and Roll Night. They're like, okay, he's going up the middle. Why is he going up the middle again? And it was probably to get some better speed on the ball, so to hit into the demon while it was lit, then go back up. Because you're right, you only needed a few combo or the mode shots. You were only 8 million away, and it worked out. You ended up with the ball 3 win. Were you worried about that feed from the demon head? I know you said it was safer, but compared to, I guess, Love Gun, was it just you liked it more, or?
oh, of course I was afraid of it. I was definitely afraid of it. That would be the decider of my fate, basically, was how that returned. But
That's so crazy that you trusted that the kick out, because a lot of copies of Kiss, if you see them in the wild, they'll have like a short ball saver if you shoot that demon mouth, because it's so dangerous, and like a lot of copies will just shoot it straight down the middle. And like a ball ago, we even saw, Viggo had to make a big move because of the kick out, like it was going straight down the middle. So just hearing you say that, like you were just like, all right, I'm just gonna go for it. That's insane, man.
yeah, still a little surprised I did it, but just so happy it worked out. It was really crazy.
So it's all tied up. What's going through your head? All right, just got to win 2.
I felt amazing. I was still alive, and now we have best 2 out of 3 to play. So
Yeah,
that
clean
was
slate.
a breath of fresh air for me.
Yeah, and was Jackpot your pick?
That was Viggo's.
Viggo's? Okay.
So yeah, Jackpot was Viggo's. I forget why, but yeah.
All right. So the next game, we're going to best of 3 now, is Jackpot. And here you are talking with Garrett and Jack. And what can you tell our lovely listeners and viewers about Jackpot? I know there's the short plunge, so you don't qualify the playfield. And the reason you do that is because?
So you just want to snipe the visor targets in the middle, because in the beginning of the game, you short plunge, get ball crate on the flipper ideally, and then there's a roving target, and you want to time it, and you want to shoot the roving targets, because then it brings down the entire visor, and that exposes the 2 locks, the left and right locks behind it, and then you're in multi-ball. So that's the ideal start to the game.
Yeah, and it's there's basically two thoughts on strategy here, right? If you're feeling comfortable with Casino Run, you would shoot for that, correct? And that's on the left, and you have to play each game, and you qualify each game by hitting the left ramp once, I believe, and then going back to it. Or am I mistaken?
Yeah. So
Okay.
the first one starts off lit
Mhm.
at the game saucer just to the right of that left ramp. And once you get that, so what you want to do actually is you can choose to either take the points that it gives you or double it, double or nothing. And you want to do double, because then it opens up the left ramp, and when you shoot under it, it gives you the points, and it lights the next game saucer mode immediately.
Oh, I didn't know
That's
that.
why you do that. That's why players will do that. But
I did.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know
you
about.
can do that if you feel comfortable on those 2 shots, and if the feed from the game saucer is relatively safe. I forget how this one was, but yeah, that's another thing you could do.
And there's no center post here. So, did you play this at all during qualifying or playoffs, or not qualifying?
Not once.
Okay.
That was the first. I was going in cold to this jackpot.
Okay. So, do you normally choose the multi-ball strategy?
I like multi-ball, and you really have to snipe your jackpots in that, because if you botch your multi-balls, you really have it's only the first 2 multi-balls that are pretty easy to start, because if you don't get much value out of those first 2, the third one you have to knock down the visor for each of the 2 locks, and that's pretty
hard.
risky at times.
Yeah, I mean, you can hit the right visor stand-ups, and they can ricochet into the top, and then maybe you get a rebound off the left back to the right, but you have to hit a lot of targets, and it's dangerous. And so so which stand-up are you sniping for the visor skill shot to open it off one shot? The reason I ask is because I heard them talk about an interesting strategy where it's most people I think go obviously when it's vertical and it's moving left to right. But I heard them talk about going for the yellow one because there's nothing to the left of it. So if you miss the yellow one on the left, you're not potentially hitting another target and missing your chance. And then they also talked about the blue one because the only thing next to it is the yellow one, and you may time it right where it doesn't matter if it's in between yellow and blue. Were you aiming for any specific stand up there?
Yeah, that's what I was considering before I went to play that. I do that sometimes on Pinbot, and yeah, just for that reason that you mentioned, because there's nothing. But the only problem is sometimes if you hit like there's a rubber like to the left of the game saucer, and sometimes if you happen to miss that yellow target, I feel like it's happened sometimes where it just ends up bouncing side targets and it ruins it.
Yeah.
But that's not the most common. I think I ended up going for the blue one, probably for the same reason that you just mentioned. It's like it's pretty easy shot.
Yeah, it feels like I feel like I've always thought about going for the center because center on most games you look at Jaws center ramp things casts look going up the center. It feels comfortable and feels like the easiest shot, but I feel like on this one, watching this footage and watching you and Viggo play and hearing the commentary, it was just like eye opening. Like, hey, there's nothing to the left of that yellow one. Yes, I could hit that rubber and it could be super dangerous off the rebound off the left where the game saucer is, but I don't know, man. It feels like a better chance at hitting it off. So, um, the short plunge, obviously, so you don't validate the playfield and get a shot at getting it back on the right flipper. Where I saw Viggo hit a few like bumpers. I was getting nervous for him because I didn't know if the ball save would still be active. Did you have any trepidation on it, or?
I think it got some good, clean short plunges. I might have botched it a couple times, but um, I just remember I struggled with that first multi-ball, which it'll show in a bit. But
Yeah. So what happens when you start the multi-ball? I'm a little confused on this. So you start the multi-ball with both balls locked in the eye, and then is the first multi-ball a 3-ball? They're all 3 balls, correct?
yeah, I think the first one is only 2,
2.
but the
Okay.
second and everything after the first one is 3 because when you start the second one, it'll kick the ball into the plunger lane, the third ball. But for the first one, it just spits them right out of the 2 eyeballs.
Okay. And can you relight your multi-ball like creature, like hitting the snack bar? If you lock, like let's say you lose one, do you have a set amount of time to shoot the visor to start a multi-ball again, or are you done?
Yeah. Yeah, you could shoot either of the lock shots to restart. I think it's like 10 seconds. I think I might have even done that for my first multi.
Yeah, you lost one, and then so Viggo had his first ball, 276 million. He went for the yellow target that we were talking about in the for the stand up. So I'm gonna see if I can. I think he already did it here. Let me see if I can get to that footage right around here. I think he'll short plunge it. Maybe I can't because it's like this file is so big that okay. So here he goes, and he was waiting, waiting. And I think he goes for the yellow one after they talk about it here. And here he goes, drops it, and boom. And they circle that rubber that you were talking about as well. But he ended up locking his second ball, and he relocks it into the visor. Quickly exit multi-ball. So he had to fill the grid again, and he got a right sling to the left out lane for his troubles. But anyways, he finishes his ball 1 with 276 million. Now we feel like all of us have seen it's a great tournament game. It's one of my favorites, along with like Harlem Globetrotters. But I feel like you can see these scores on ball 1 be in the billions because you get your jackpots, or if you're in Casino Run, you're getting to Casino Run, you're getting a lot of points up there as well. So here's your ball 1. You're at about 84 million. You hit the blue target on the skill shot. You locked both of them for your jackpot multi-ball. And here we go. You're starting up. Man, I think you lose one quickly, but I think you relock it fast right away. So let's watch that. I'll let the audio play and let the commentators commentate.
Oh, this was my first multi-ball, I think.
Yeah.
So only go.
I guess it is a 3-ball. I might have been wrong. Yeah. Damn, I should know that.
Trust me. That's why I asked, because I see it sometimes at 2 though. So I'm confused as to how it works. So here's your 2, right? Oh, I think this was your relock.
goodness.
But yeah,
And look at that.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I totally forgot that happened.
it was you missed the under the ramp jackpot, and then the balls kind of got a little out of control, and it just was one of those things where you're like,
I don't know
uh-oh.
what happened there because I went for like a ZMAC bump,
Yeah.
and the flipper just didn't want to move.
died.
The ball just died on the flipper and just rolled down. It was so sad.
Yeah, here's the shot.
I really
And
got bored when that happened.
yeah, it was the weirdest, like, yeah, it goes there, and then it didn't.
Like,
Yeah.
what happened there? Maybe I like accidentally grazed the flipper button and like absorbed. I don't know.
Well,
That sucked.
you don't have to worry about it because luckily, the end result is good. So ball 2, Viggo goes into his ball 2. He blasted some grid shots. His grid shots like were adding up really quickly. Like I was surprised at how fast they sort of were collected. I don't think the visor's open here. Oh, it might be, but he was getting like forehand shots off the left, and they were just piling up. So there's his visor open. He started his next multi-ball. He did get a couple jackpots this time. He ends his multi-ball at about 627 million. We'll let this play. Excuse me, and then let this come out. So his jackpot right there for 75 million. And have you ever gotten a mega visor? Me personally, I've never seen it. I've never seen anybody in competition do it. So I'm a
I think maybe when I was playing the jackpot for fun, I might have done it a couple times.
Yeah. I'm assuming the scores can get really nutty. So he's at 612 right now. A nice little flick there. He does get a sling to the right out lane, but he has a really much better ball than ball 1. So, excuse me, a little bit better. He had 276 on ball 1. I forgot about that. So 699 for his troubles. You're going into ball 2. You have another chance to open your visor with a skill shot. So you're talking to Garrett and Jack here. What are you discussing? You remember?
Yeah, I was asking for their opinions on like, should I take the second multi-ball now or just start grinding for game saucers to get towards Casino Run? And I ended up just going for the second because I forgot like if it was the second or third multi-ball where like it was extra hard settings where you had to hit the visor every lock, and it turns out it was the third one and they knew that, so that was a good piece of advice.
Yeah.
So I decided to just go with the multi-ball.
Smart, very smart move because you have a really good ball here. There's Jack. You played with Jack a lot?
I haven't played not enough in competitions, but
Yeah.
we have played for fun. He's a great guy.
That's awesome. So here's your second ball start. And we're going to get to the multi-ball start here. We'll watch this play out. This one was weird because they were saying on commentary that like your playfield didn't validate, but you got like the super jackpot for 375, I think. I don't know what happened
Yeah.
here.
I remember like most of what happened here, but let's see what it looks like.
So you're short plunging here. You have one lock there inside the visor already.
Yeah, I think both are in
Okay.
there. So right here, I'm trying to trap off without hitting any extra switches. I'm trying to pick off the side jackpots for now. And I got that one, which was nice.
Yeah,
And then
playfield's
there's
still
one
not
on the
validated.
very right, which is a very, very small shot to get.
Joe, you said the playfield's not validated, right?
Oh,
Yeah, it's
did it
still-
not register there?
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like you got
Wow, that's a rip.
scammed. Yeah, I remember we were watching this during Indisc jackpot games, and you can tell because when the scores are showing on the screen, if the score is still flashing, that means the playfield's not validated yet.
Oh, good to know. And there's your super
I can't
jackpot.
believe what happened there, though. That was like one of the craziest parts of that final.
Yeah.
And then the delayed tilt after that, I almost forgot.
Yeah.
That was insane because that could have cost me the game right there and
Yeah.
possibly championship if it tilted right before I got the super. But it gave me I made like a semi decent, not like a huge move, and it danger, and that the debounce like it gives dangers and tilts really fast on jackpot, even in general. So I was scared as heck when I did that, but it let me live just like 10 seconds longer, which was enough to double my score with that super. It was like 375. that was huge, and that basically won me that game.
Yeah, because it's crazy. I was like, okay, he made the move, but it didn't look like you were moving it, and when you hit the planet shot, it tilted. I was like, what just happened?
Oh yeah, that startled me when that happened, but I am so thankful that it delayed the tilt just so I could get that super. So that was really convenient.
Yeah, it was like, okay, well, Vigo's had two. He had the Jaws up post not coming up, and then obviously Firepower. I was like, there's Jason's one, and they were circling it because I remember on Pinbot, that's how you collect the planets. I'm like, holy shit, that just like it didn't look like you made a move, but like you said, as long as you got enough time for that super jackpot, you were sitting at 896. So Vigo's got to pick his strategy now. Do you go for? He's already played the two multi-balls, so now at this point, I feel like if you're in the situation, you're going for casino run, right?
So yeah, he's played two multi-balls. I mean, it is some points like getting the lit visor target, but you really have to be precise. I don't know because you would have to survive. I forget how dangerous that game saucer feed was. If it was dangerous, I would still be going for that third multi because you're just too far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
he had
too
no
far.
progress.
You have to survive too many dangerous shots, but I think multi-ball is probably fine to go for in this case.
So he makes his big move there, but unfortunately it tilts. I mean, he had to make
That
that.
was a huge momentum shift for
Yeah.
me. That was a massive win right there and that was such a close game.
Yeah, mentally, I've got to feel like that's giving you such a rush right there.
I
Like,
was relieved. Like you saw me in the background, like I was so relieved. I like, that was really intense. I was watching that game like a hawk.
good, good. I'm glad. I'm glad other people are watching too. Sometimes I walk away like I don't want to know what happens, but sometimes you have to. And so,
Yeah, sometimes I don't watch it. It depends really.
yeah. So you are now up 4-3, and the next pick is yours, Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Nope, that was his pick. I guess it went to the loser of the game that we just played. Gets next pick. So
Gotcha. I didn't know how it works. So you were up 4-3. We're going into the last game potentially of the IFPA 20 World Championships. You are one game away. What are you telling yourself before Creature? Had you played this before in the playoffs, or what? Obviously, you know the rules to it because this is a common one for everybody. But what are you thinking?
yeah, I actually played it once in qualifying, and I actually really liked the way this one played. Like it was pretty controllable. You could usually live catch off of the right feed from the bumpers. The tilt was pretty reasonable, and yeah, the flippers were strong. You can make the left ramp during multi-ball. I really liked the way it played. Surprisingly, because I'm usually kind of terrified of Creature because it's such a difficult game, so challenging, especially with that extra wide gap between the flippers in the middle.
So
We actually own Creature here at home. I'm like 10 feet away from it right now, so it's a really great game. It's one of my favorite games of all time, actually. I really liked. I just really like the risk reward. It's one of. It might be like the best multi-ball of all time, like because it's just so intense. It's only two ball, and there are so many stages to get like, and depending on how much you multiply the playfield for a potentially massive payoff, and it could just get really big.
yeah, I was gonna say there's some real strategy here because they're just like Jackpot. I feel like you guys ended on two really good pins for everybody to see such high level skill and play on. Give us your primer on Creature and kind of the two strategies I think there are. There's move your car and obviously multi-ball, right?
Yeah. So the first thing you do is you want a full plunge that goes all the way around, and you want to try to complete kiss, and you have to time it and everything. So that'll give you the first letter in film. The way you light your multi-ball is you have to spell film, and so the first way is to spell kiss on the left shot. The second way is to get the four blue stand-ups that are near the snack bar in the middle. Then you have to complete the top lanes paid, and then you have to shoot the right orbit for the M, and then you could shoot either the left or right orbit to start multi-ball. That's a pretty standard strat. The other good strat that you could do on this game is totally different, where you just grind the shot that is to the right of the left ramp. It's the move your car shot, and if you shoot it like 5 times, you start the move your car mode, and what you do in that mode is you just keep shooting that shot forever. It's a hurry up value, and once you lock it in, you just keep shooting it for like double, triple, quadruple value. And that's, as long as you can accurately shoot that shot and survive and catch the ball from the feed from the bumpers, you can do that all day, really. So that's a great strat as well.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely amazing the intricacy of the rules here, because it's an older pin, but the fact that there are ways to get multiplied jackpots in multi-ball, but then move your car, shooting it up there will also increase the jackpot value because you're hitting the pops, but then you're also getting into the move your car mode. I didn't realize hitting the snack bar spots one of your snack bar targets too. And then one of the things that you mentioned in the beginning, plunging at the right time, so you don't have to spell kiss with 4 shots. You could do it with 1, or it spots it for you right off the bat.
Yeah, so as you can see right now, the word, it's like the letters are lighting up like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you ideally want to usually you just let go of the plunger when it lights up the first letter only, and then you could spell the whole word. It's like a cheap way of getting the F in film immediately.
Yeah.
So I think I ended up doing that here.
And then hitting.
Yeah, you mentioned that you can spot the snack bar targets by shooting the snack bar. You can only do that unless, if you haven't collected a jackpot. But as soon as you collect a jackpot, you can't do that for the rest of the game.
Oh, wow.
It gets really difficult. You have to survive a lot of targets. However, the bumpers do move around the lit targets that are. So I know the right 2 targets are generally easier than the left. So that's another thing.
What happens if you hit the lit rollover lane up top on your skill shot? Does it give you the letter L?
Yeah, it instantly gives you the L.
Okay, awesome. So ball 1, Viggo got his L up top, shot the snack bar. He got a forehand from the right to the snack bar, or the kiss, but it missed, and he went out the right out lane. He ends up with 10.5 million. You have a really, really good ball 1 here. So this was like a clinic on Creature. I'm going to ask how you felt after, obviously, but let's just go through sort of the sequencing. Why are you going also with spelling film in order?
You just get like a what's it called? Just a sequential like film spelling. If you spell it FILM in that order, you get extra 8 mil. So it's like, why not?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, it'll multiply his jackpot by billions, but then I was like, I saw it. I was like, oh, it's just an extra 8 million. You might as well do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's like his score on ball 1, so I might as well take the
exactly. So you are already through L here. So obviously, take a break. You're collecting yourself. You just have to hit that right orbit or the right shot, and right saucer, and boom, there it is. There's your 8 million.
There we go. And another 8 for the M, so that's nice.
Yes. And so now you just got to, didn't get it up there, but now you're going to start your multi-ball. And again, what are you doing in multi-ball? Picking off your jackpots or trying to find the girl first and then...
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you want to do. You can immediately trap up and just grind to 3 or 4x playfield, and then you can start going, through the multi-ball phases. Or you could just go for the, light the jackpot instantly, and you have to shoot, because there is a different ROM. It was the Soren ROM on this one. I think you had to shoot each of the 3, the left kiss shot, the snack bar in the middle, and the right orbit. You have to get all 3 of those every time to find the girl, and then it lights the middle, and then you shoot it to rescue the girl, and then your jackpot lights. So that's the sequence in this multi-ball.
So what's happening here? You've got a really good start going on. You start your multi-ball. Luckily, there's no auto plunge and timer here that I know of. Why did you walk away? Just to collect your thoughts?
Yeah, I just pulled an Arvid, but he did like the previous round against me, where I think he walked away from Whirlwind or something when his multi-ball was lit, just to like collect your thoughts and reset yourself. So I'm like, why not?
I love it.
It's a pretty important moment. So
yeah, it's a power move to me. I absolutely respect it. I love it. So you are starting your multi-ball at around 40 million. It looked like, Top Bob was moving a little. It would be nice to settle it. So I was like, oh, maybe that's why I walked away. But you got to rescue the girl in the first shot. which is key because then that opens up your jackpots on during the multi-ball, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I had to. Did I have to shoot all three? I might have, but
Okay.
yeah. Then you shoot the snack bar twice, and then you have your jackpot. And then once you get your jackpot, so I think mine was like 53 or something. Then you have to get the ball. You have to shoot the move your car shot over and over, and then you have to get a certain number of pop bumper hits, and then eventually that lights your super at the snack bar, which is double your jackpot value. And that could get massive if you shoot the left ramp over and over to get your playfield multiplier up a lot.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to mention next. If you shoot that left ramp, it goes around the little diner cup on the bottom right, which they're highlighting now, and you spell creature through every revolution. You get a letter for every roundabout, and that starts at 2x, and then it starts at 3x. And the reason we're discussing this heavily is because it will play into the later balls. So again, you're already at at over a 110 million, and then now you start move your car, and it looked like you were feeling good during this, like the shot was just there and you knew where it was.
Yeah, I felt really comfortable with the live catch on the right and then shooting back up that shot. I was pretty consistent with that, so I'm like, I might as well just keep going for it. So that's what I ended up doing right here because I didn't feel like trying to survive like 4 targets to get the eye in film. It's very dangerous.
Do you prefer shooting the move your car shot from the right or left?
Usually the left, but I don't know. I felt really comfortable from the right on this one, so I'm like, I might as well just go with it.
And that's what I normally see. That's why I was going to ask it. I feel like it looks more open from the left, but technically from the right, if you're not going to the edge of the flipper, which would then either send it to kiss or the left ramp, it's really it looks like it's a safe spot on it looks like you have more real estate on the right flipper to hit the center shot versus on the left where just maybe it's kind of wonky. So when you were hitting it from the right, I was like, man, that looks comfortable right now. It looks really good.
Yeah, that's why I just kept going from the right flipper because I felt pretty good with it. But yeah, the shot, it kind of curves in a way that you want to shoot it.
Yeah, it looks like a bowling curve or a soccer curve, like bend it like Beckham. So so right now you finished your first move your car, and you're hitting this left ramp over and over again. Is this big millions or what is this? Ramp millions?
Yeah, so because I shot the right orbit enough times, it gave me an award, and it happened to be millions on the left ramp. And the way it works is you just shoot the left ramp, it's 3 mil, then it's 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and you just keep going until the timer runs out. And that could be it was big points for me. So that was a nice way to get some points.
Yeah, that was it was like over 43 million or something over it. It was just wild because you had it dialed in once you started like at 6, and then it just was like 9, 12, 15.
Yeah, it adds up. It's a great mode. Because the left ramp is an easy shot, so
yeah, it looks very open. Do you ever go for the right ramp or no?
not really. I mean, you can. I don't think you could backhand it on this one. And also, as you can see there, I just shot it, and the feed was so lightning fast when it comes through the left in lane for some reason. So
yeah,
it's really fast. Like it's you can't really combo it over and over on this one. So I was kind of avoiding it for that reason.
It reminds me of mousing around, how fast it can, especially the District 82 one, when you shoot the ramp and it just comes around through the left.
Yeah, that one at the 82, the mouse, and that's way faster than this one.
Yeah,
So that's
right. I was like, oh, I know that speed somewhere, but yeah, you're right. It's definitely faster on mousing around. So you're on your second move your car, which is a good position to be in. It looks like here by the time we get to the end of it, yeah, look at your jackpot values at 68 there. And you got another 5 million for your troubles there, and you're at 6.2 million times 2. This is your second shot, 12.5 million there. I love the animations too. And then this mode is in Junkyard, I think, right? Or Flint's, which there's another pin this mode is in. I forgot which one it is.
Yeah, I think Flintstones.
Flintstones, right?
At least it's the same mode where you shoot the middle over and over.
Yeah.
And I think it also has some call-outs from this, so that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I remember it. I love Flintstones as a tournament game too. But obviously, You're chewing your gum, you're kicking butt. I could just see how in tune you are with this pin, and you're already at 15 shots. The commentators were noting your jackpot value here is 84 million. Joe, what were you thinking when you watched this footage?
Yeah, no, I mean, this is great. I remember, or I noticed early on in the ball, you were letting it kind of bounce over from the right orbit return, and then you switched over to live catching. So it's cool to see that, just adapt to that. But I mean, yeah, like you said, it's pretty much a clinic on how to play the game. The shots are super accurate, and the ball control is there.
Yeah, it's actually, I mean, before this championship, it might have been years, honestly, since I played Creature in any tournament. So
Really?
it was pretty fun, honestly. Especially because this one, I really like the way this one played. I kind of want to see it in more tournaments, honestly, because it's a challenge. It's one of the toughest games out there,
Yeah,
like in of any time period. So I like it for that reason.
I want to say it was ZMAC recently said it was like one of his least favorite games to play in tournaments.
I was kind of avoiding playing mine at home for a while before I played it here at this World Championship, but I've been playing it a lot more recently, and it's just great. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, and obviously, it's really good to see just how good it can play. Obviously, with a skilled player like yourself, but what you can do on it, so people can watch this footage. Through again, shout out to JDL Pinball for the footage from Worlds. Thank you for having this archive so we can go over it with Jason Zahler. But and there's a straight down the middle there. But man, what an excellent ball! I know some people say they thrive better under pressure. Do you think you play better just when you're more relaxed? You get are you able to get into the groove easier when you're not as I don't want to say anxious, but some people say they play better when like the chips on the line. How do you feel?
I mean, I've had so much
Yeah.
experience with these super high pressure situations and these major championships now that it's eventually becomes more normalized.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel as big of a situation for me, at least. But when I'm in my groove, when I'm relaxed, I really do well. But I also am pretty good under pressure at the same time. You really have to be if you're gonna get deep into these top tournaments.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. If you've been there, I think it's the great news is when you've seen that when you've seen that situation and been through the experience, it kind of doesn't hopefully rattle you as much because you know what the nerves you can kind of expect what the nerves will be. So Arvid talking to Viggo about his ball too. I'm glad they were taking time to kind of discuss it. I love seeing that. I think when you discussed it at the beginning, I love the ability of top competitors or players, even if they're not the top, just hashing it out with other people like, hey, I could do this, but no, you probably want to do this. It's always nice to get a different perspective of what the situation actually is.
Yeah, I totally agree. As long as you're not doing it, you can't do it for the IFPA rules while you're playing. But
Yeah.
yeah, in between games or in between balls, yeah, I definitely think it's good to do for that
So,
extra perspective too.
yep. And so Vigo does get on his ball two, ends up with about 70 million from Move Your Car. Got all the shots, ended with 109 million, but there's the shimmy. So
Oh, you almost had that.
yeah.
I didn't even see that when I was there.
Yeah, he had a really good move there. We'll watch it again.
That would have been insane if he actually got that.
Yeah, tilted him out. So it's like a half ramp, and then he's at 109. I think it was like he ended at around here. So
And you see like Viggo and Arvid, they go for that shimmy every single time. Like it's just that's no like that's their default setting. Like they will go for the
Automatic.
shimmy and it's usually effective. Like that's why they're so dangerous to play against because if they can like normally save a ball that's going in the out lane and just dig it out like that, it's crazy.
and to the
I
viewer,
gotta get better at doing that.
yeah, to the viewers at home, the shimmy is not easy to do. Like it's very hard. You have to have a precise amount of force and left to right motion. So the fact that they're so in tune with it is wild to me, and just a testament to their skill. But yeah, so this was his ball, ball two. We'll see the shimmy again. I think it's yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna pause it. This is where it is. It was during the multi-ball, And here it goes.
Double train.
Yeah, double
He
drain.
had it, and then it bounced back into the out. Like, it went in the in lane, and then it bounced tilted. But
Yeah,
he was right there.
right there. And so his ball 2 ends with 126 million. You've got a nice lead here, and this is a kind of a short ball for you, I believe, on your ball 2. You had you just needed the eye to start your next multi-ball. I think there was a misread on a bounce here off the right. It's coming up, but I think I've seen this bounce so many times. It sort of rainbows off right there, and boom. And
Oh yeah, it's like a weird angle where
yeah,
it's coming.
it always
Like,
seems like
flame.
yeah, it always seems like it's gonna get enough to go to the left because you can sort of tell
Yeah,
when
and
it's
sometimes you could like flick like the right flipper. If I had gotten a little bit on the ball, then I could have maybe slapped it to the left flipper or something. But it was like, and because the middle on creature in general is extra wide, so that was
yeah.
just a weird angle.
Yeah, but great, still you still got a 358 million lead. And this is real again, like we talked about before, them talking. I know this will help him calm his nerves talking with Arvid, but he has to make something happen here. And so he's got to get to his multi-ball, and then he's probably thinking in his head, I've got to also multiply that multi-ball. Where were you during his were you watching his ball 3?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, this was his do or die moment for the whole thing. He had to make me play my ball 3 or else it was over. And I was actually, it wasn't the worst thing that I drained when I did, because if I had to play my ball 3, I had a multi-ball ready to go. So
Yep.
I had that in my back pocket in case I needed it. And I was, as this goes on more, I thought more and more that I would have to play my ball 3.
Yep. So we're watching
It was really intense.
exactly. We're watching the strategy here. What's crazy is he's timing the spin of the ball in the sauce in that diner saucer cup so that when he shoots the left ramp, because he has to hit that so it spells creature and he gets a multiplied jackpot during his multi-ball. So he's at 2x now, but he's hitting it so that he can go ahead and make sure that the balls aren't getting into that saucer at the same time. So he's doing this, and then he's shooting by the time the ball comes out right around here, then he's shooting it either up the left ramp or I think he was also shooting up the center so that no, there it is. So now he's in the mode of okay, but you don't want to shoot it too close to each other because then the balls careen off each other and you end up losing one. And now all that work for your 3x and 4x is kind of gone. So he's got to now start the multi-ball, and unfortunately he does get a shot at it. I think he gets he gets a double danger here. He has a big move. There's one,
It's a single.
Single, right? I for some reason
crazy.
Yeah, I thought it was a double, but you're right. It's a single. He's got 10x on his bonus multiplier. Teolis is going crazy in the back, like, that's it. But he does end up having to shoot he's going for the snack bar here eventually. So we'll take a listen to the last moments of this ball.
Jim.
Yeah, and like you said, it was disadvantaged that he got his multipliers without any progress lighting the jackpot.
Yep.
Like, he would have doubled his score. He would have made me play if he had collected at least, it probably would have been over 200 mil if he got it.
Oh yeah, because he was at 3x.
Yeah.
But
So here it comes.
Sometimes you just want to get something.
He's trying to get his kiss letters.
You want to put up something respectable.
There he's got KISS.
F in film.
The F in film is complete.
And then here he goes. Oh,
That was the craziest move I've potentially ever seen.
yeah, right.
Also, the D bounce on creature, it's not good. like it should have tilted.
Yeah, so he ends up.
The rig was rocking.
Like, I thought when I saw that, like, he was gonna go all the way. Oh man.
So I saw you.
Best feeling ever when it was over.
Yeah, I saw you walk by with your hand across your stomach. What were you just doing? The biggest sigh of relief.
Oh yeah, I was totally fried. I didn't want to play. I just wanted it to be over already. But I was still, of course, expecting him to make me play the third ball. I was right behind him watching that third ball. So I was, you know, watching like a hawk, and man, he almost had me.
Yeah, no,
He was
that was, I mean, he was close, and it's just wild because like you said, it's just crazy because he had the multiplier ready, and he would have had to make you play if he hits one of those jackpots, because he built it up and he was almost at 4x, I think. And it was just in my mind, I'm like, he's done the work. Now all he has to do is get the next shot. And it just, the ball's draining at the same, or hitting the saucer at the same time, the cup, just kind of threw everything out of whack. So, congratulations. Let me bring this up. Let me see if it'll show it properly. 1 second. And then we'll go here and boom, there you are. Congratulations. You get to get your announcement, and you've been here before, which is great. That's the nice thing. It's a testament to your skill. Kudos to you. What is your feeling right now other than elation? Are you just proud of all the work you've done? What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, one that was like when I was over there and it just happened. There was like the biggest sigh of relief, maybe probably the same as last year, but it's the best feeling ever, really. After all that whole grind, I had to face Arvid right before it.
Yeah.
It was so easy. No, it was not so easy. It was like it's the toughest tournament in the world, basically.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, so that felt great. But like, yeah, right now I'm just really satisfied. I got my third major. That was also the first time that was the first chance I had at defending my title at a major. Um, so to be able to do that for the first attempt, very glad I was able to pull that off.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I love that Avengers is right there behind you. And here's some other pictures. Here's the four
Yeah,
of you.
Avengers, of course, behind me, but wasn't in the tournament, sadly.
There's Jason, Viggo, Arvid, and Garrett. Congrats to all of you. That was super cool to watch. Here's a picture of you and your dad. There's Steve, a great player in his own right, and there's the list of all the players that have won the championship, the IFPA Worlds. There's Rick Stetta, Dave Heggie, you got Bowen, back-to-back Daniele. What your first major, was it IFPA last year?
Yep, that was against Arvid, and then I got the rematch against him in semis this year.
Nice.
Yeah, that was in California at Jim Belzito's place.
And then here's you signing. You're signing your name. What's the 777? Is that your signature?
The lucky number.
There.
That's the best number.
I can't wait till you're 21. You go play slots.
Gotta have, it's not 100% skill. You gotta have some help along the way as well. And there's a lot of really crazy moments in these final matches and the biggest events. So you gotta get some luck along the way as well.
Oh no, for sure. Joe, did you have any questions? I'm gonna ask you some more questions. I just wanna check something here.
No,
There
we're
we-
good. Yeah, that was amazing to watch, man. Congratulations again, well earned, and can't wait to see you
Appreciate it.
try to defend your second major that you're holding at Pinburg next week.
So if
Oh
you,
yeah, so
Yeah.
I'll have a chance of playing that, which should be fun. We'll see how that goes, but I'm not putting extra pressure on myself because my big one was defending the IFPA Worlds. So I'm relieved and very satisfied I was able to do that.
Yeah, super cool. Just some more questions, and we'll do our fun little rapid fire round. Thank you for being with us. We're hitting 3 hours, so I really thank you for your time. And now everybody knows why it takes so long, because we like to get into the details. If you could add one game to IFPA World lineup every year, what would it be?
Gotta say Avengers.
Yeah.
I just have to.
Do you feel like moderns or classics gave you the edge in this particular run?
That's a tough one because like I did really well on firepower. Even like Whirlwind against Arvid in the semifinals helped me. I really can't pick a favorite ever, honestly. They all pitched in a lot.
Joe, you want to ask the next one? Sorry.
Awesome. Yeah, sure. Was there a specific game or moment in the tournament where you thought this could be mine? I could win this.
I really think after that clutch win on Jackpot, he was less than 100 mil, and that he tilted at the end, and the fact that I somehow got away with that double danger super with the delayed tilt right after it, that was huge momentum. That made me feel really good and relieved. So I felt like I could actually win this after that happened.
All right. What do you hope people remember about this championship run?
I would say I thought that last year's IFPA 19 in the States was the toughest tournament I've ever played in, but this might match it or be slightly more difficult somehow because every year it's just getting tougher and tougher. It just never stops more difficult to win these big tournaments against all these super good kid players like Viggo, Arvid, and ZMAC and all these others. There's more and more each year. So, but I mean, I had a really good time. It was a great venue, Flipnick, and JDL did an amazing job with the stream. It looked really great, and it was a really good trip. It was one of my favorite trips, if not my favorite. That whole trip to Austria. So it was a great time.
Nice. Yeah, it's awesome that you had some time to explore, in Europe too. That's, important to have balance.
For sure.
What would you say is harder, winning the first one or staying as, defending the title after you've won it?
Definitely the first one, at least for me it is, because that was like, in 2023, I got fourth in Indisc, second in EPC, and then third in IFPA 18. I got, that was great in and of itself. I got top four in all three majors that year, but I still really wanted to win one. I was really motivated to, but it took a while. Eventually, I broke through. I think that a lot tougher was to have that first breakthrough win for me, and then after that, it proved to myself like, okay, I've won one. I can win more now. So it'll only get easier from now, I think.
Awesome.
Nice.
So now we're going to do a quick little fun little game, a rapid fire round. You just say the first thing that comes to your mind. Flipper skills or nudging skills?
I guess flipper skills, but I really like nudging skills as well.
Nice. Classic EMs, DMDs, or modern LCDs?
And it's tough because I really like all of them now, and you have to be good at, especially at IFPA Worlds. But I guess I'll give the edge to the modern arrows because there's so much fun code and rules to do with them nowadays.
Favorite non-pinball arcade game?
Well, we actually have some arcade cabinets in our basement. My dad got them
Nice.
many years ago. Like we have Pac-Man, Millipede, Galaga. I would say my favorite is probably Galaga, but there's a lot of fun ones.
Nice. Least favorite pinball machine ever?
Least favorite pinball machine. I like pretty much all games, but I mean, we have a Beatles, and it's like it's all right. Like not my favorite game if I get it in the tournament, but
Yeah.
usually I'm just fine with whatever I get. Honestly, I don't have like major problems with a certain game, especially if I'm playing it in tournaments. So
Well, the good thing is Pinburg will have Sea Witch, so we'll get the superior for sure.
I love Sea Witch though. Yeah, I
Um,
feel like that game is just really made for like that era. I guess.
oh yeah, for sure. Favorite city for pinball tournaments?
Favorite city. I guess I really, at least locally, Delaware, because they have the Delaware Pinball Collective there. That's been for the last ever since like 2021 up until now, like post pandemic, really great place for me locally to practice, and that helped me get some whoppers in 2022. So I guess yeah, Delaware is a great local place for me. I also obviously love the championships in California each year. Indisc, the Open in January, and last year, at Jim Belzito's IFPA 19. California is great. Of course, Chicago and tri-state area is pretty good too.
Nice.
All right. It's fine or Bozo?
It's fine. Rip Bozo is great too.
What's your favorite tournament food? What do you like to eat?
It's a good one. I don't know. I guess just whatever I can get. Like sometimes because it's hard sometimes because we'll play late and then like all the places will be closed.
Yeah.
So it's just usually most of the time it's just whatever we can get our
Yeah.
hands on.
Exactly. I was going to ask Pats versus Geno's, but that's a Philly thing. All right. You know what? That was awesome. Thank you so much for coming on again. Congratulations. Jason Zahler, your IFPA 20 grand champion, world champion winner. Is there anything you want to plug while you're on here?
I guess, like I mentioned, Delaware Pinball Collective, I'll give them a shout out because they're a really great local place for me. Not much else. I mean, of course, I'll shout out my dad because, he's been bringing me to these tournaments since I started. He got me into the whole hobby and everything. So he was my biggest mentor when I was younger and still is a great coach for me. So shout out to my dad and of course my family. So and everyone that supports me. I really appreciate it. So
yeah, it's awesome to see you play. Joe, you got anything? Any other questions?
I think that's it, man. Yeah, nice job, Jason. Congratulations again. And
appreciate it, man.
Looking forward to seeing you at Pinburg.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
Yeah, I'll see both of you there, right?
Yeah, we'll be there. Pinburg, the Beast. I'm going to NWPC and then Papa. So it's going to be a busy summer at Pinball. I hope to see you guys there. And other than that, that is episode 9 of Wizards and Warriors. Thank you again for joining us, Jason. And everybody that's listening, I hope you had a good time. And make sure you watch the video footage because it does help. And it was a great conversation. So we'll see you for the next one. We'll see you all at Pinburg. And that's it. Bye, everybody.
Yep. Thanks again for having me. It was a lot of fun.
See you later, guys.
The lights are flashing, the bells are ringing. I step up to the table, my heart is singing. The crowd is watching, the tension is high. I'm ready to play, it's time to defy it. Pinball warriors, we're ready to fight. Multiball madness, it's hard to lie. Uppers and flippers, we're in control. Pinball wizards, we got the soul. Ball rolling, chasing the light. People fingers dancing, the arcade's alive. But flippers respond to my every command. In the pinball kingdom, I make my stand. Pinball warriors, we're ready to fight. Multiball madness, it's hard to lie. Uppers and flippers, we're in control. Pinball wizards, we got the soul.